Hey guys, what is going on? Anthony here with Pistons Talk. We're doing a 2022 NBA Draft Lottery live stream, whatever the hell you guys want to call it. I really don't care. We're live on YouTube and Twitter right now. Want to introduce you guys to my guy Lance. You're going to be seeing a lot of him on this channel. Something in the works. But Lance, welcome to the channel. How's it going, man?
Oh, I'm doing great, man. I appreciate the introduction as well. Never had a better one. So thank you, Anthony. I do appreciate it, man.
No problem. That was a shitty ass intro, so I got to work on them.
I don't think I've ever had like a great. I take that back. I've had a couple good intros, but I feel like I'm the king of introducing people. Like I really go all out and try to make people feel special. But you did your job. You made me feel special jumping on your channel, man. I really do appreciate it.
For sure, for sure. I know you texted me last night. You're like, bro, it's like, I want to talk about this. And we're going to talk about the NBA draft, obviously, because it is coming up in a couple of minutes. If you didn't know, if you're watching it, you didn't know, you're living under a rock, apparently. So you wanted to predict the top 5 in this draft.
I did, and I feel like it's a pretty easy draft or a pretty easy top 5 to predict.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, dude, I'm excited. I mean, like, I've never really talked to you outside of you coming on a podcast with me twice and then texting each other. That's about it. So, I mean, I'm excited to do this. I'm excited to predict the top 5 and go 5 for 5 tonight.
All right. So I want to hear your top 5. I'm interested.
Do you want reasons why I put their at? Or no, just want to hear the names?
You can tell me exactly why you have them where they're at.
Okay, cool. So again, free control. Awesome. I appreciate that. Number 1, it should be no joke to anybody. It is Jabari Smith going number 1. Honestly, love him in Orlando. I love him with Franz. I love him with Wendell Carter. That is a nightmare front court. I don't think Jabari is the best player in the draft, but the need and the fit to go number 1 to the Magic makes the most sense to me. Him and Franz are not replaceable, but they can switch defensively between the 3 and the 4. Jabari Smith brings that smooth shooting stroke. He's a dog defensively. I love what he brings to the Magic. Number 2, I'm going Chet Holmgren. By the way, this top 5 is going to be like I said, it's a pretty easy top 5 to predict. So there's going to be no mystery or no surprises here in the top 5. But number 2, Chet Holmgren, Oklahoma City. My biggest reasoning behind this is they have so many first-round picks. They can gamble with the second pick. And Chet Holmgren, I know there's some issues with him not releasing medical information. There are people complaining about his weight. I believe he will add weight, but I also believe the weight concerns are a real thing. So it is a gamble to draft him number 2. But Oklahoma City has so many first-round picks that they can actually afford to take a gamble with Chet at number 2. Number 3, Paolo Banchero. He is a natural playmaker that will fit between Jalen Green, Josh Christopher, and, wow, I can't believe I'm blanking on his name, but Kevin Porter Jr. He is the natural playmaker for them. They're going to be able to play off of him. I love that fit in Houston. Number 4, Keegan Murray, probably the old man of this draft that going to be 22 when the season starts. Most pro ready. I saw a few people complain to me weeks ago when the Pistons got the 5th pick. We were talking about Keegan Murray, and I had said something along the lines that there's positional redundancy with Keegan Murray, Saddiq Bey, and Jeremy Grant. Jeremy Grant is out of the picture. I honestly loved the fit with Keegan Murray and Jeremy Grant. If he were to slip to number 5, I thought it was great. Didn't love the fit of Keegan Murray and Saddiq Bey. I even said you should trade Saddiq Bey for the 4th pick straight up because Keegan Murray is already a 3-level scorer coming into the NBA, something that we all hope Saddiq Bey is. But anyways, number 4, Keegan Murray, the most pro-ready. I doubt they take another guard. They traded Tyrese Halliburton halfway through his rookie season, halfway through his second season in Sacramento. So I don't see them drafting a guard. Number 5, Jaden Ivey. That's my pick for the Pistons, and I just love what he brings to the Pistons, man. I know a lot of people are concerned that he was somewhat of a point guard. There were 2 other people on that team that handled the ball and handled the playmaking responsibilities at Purdue, along with Jaden Ivey. But, man, as a guy that can play off the ball with Cade, cutting to the hoop, running in transition, they'll be able to add another wrinkle to their offense with the dribble handoffs. He was real good with those, and I know Purdue set him up in those situations a lot, especially coming off the left side. But, yeah, Jaden Ivey at number 5, that is my top 5 this year for the NBA draft.
I think my top 5 might surprise a little bit. a couple people. So I actually have Chet going 1.
Mm.
And the reason why I have him going 1 is I kind of look at who's in their front office. I look at John Hammond, who drafted Giannis. And in the back of my mind, I know we drafted Giannis. I know we drafted Thon Maker. This guy likes he likes long guys. Like straight up. Like I think Chet's gonna go number 1 for that reason. Him and Jalen Suggs, long history there. They played together. I believe in high school, if memory serves, together. So, they already have kind of a connection, but I wouldn't be surprised if Jabari goes 1. Number 2, I have Jabari Smith to OKC. I think, the fit there would be great. I know they have Lou Dort, but I mean, I think Jabari Smith could definitely be a star in this league. If, he works on, that mid-range a little bit. I know he's a really good three-point shooter, but I think if, he works on that mid-range more, I think he could be a 2-level scorer in this league, very similar to Scotty Barnes. I think, that's kind of like the archetype I look at Jabari Smith. Maybe minus the passing, but number 3, I have Paolo going to Houston. It just feels like, a perfect fit. Like you read all the reports of, him and Rafael Stone going out to dinner like twice. So I think it's basically a done deal with Paolo in Houston. And I think that's just going to be a really fun offense with Jalen Green and Paolo and all those guys. Even though I hate Houston, I like their core. Like I really like their core. Like, man, like.
I got to ask why you hate Houston, but I want to hear who you have at number 4 and 5 first.
Number 4, I have Jaden Ivey because I think the Kings are sickos. And I think they're going to trade the pick. I think someone's going to trade up to that pick, whether it's the Knicks, if you believe all that hype. I really think Sacramento is going to draft Ivey, but they're not going to keep him. They will be trading that pick. And I think the Pistons at number 5 will draft Benedict Mathurin. I think they will pass on Jaden Ivey.
I love Benedict Mathurin. Let me just say that. Like, he to me is a great consolation prize after Jaden Ivey. I mean, dude can hit. He can relocate along the perimeter, hit open shots. He's a strong cutter. He's a strong finisher, can move in transition. Defensively, he brings a lot to the table. Needs to work on a few things like the closeout and fighting through the screens. But I think Benedict Mathurin can either be like a Karis LeVert or a Jaylen Brown type in the NBA. Maybe not quite a multiple-time All-Star like Jaylen Brown will be, but, in that archetype, being able to play off of the other guys and bringing something on both sides of the ball. But, dude, why do you hate Houston?
I hate Houston for the rivalry last year with the Cade Cunningham and, Jalen Green, obviously. Like, I was cool with Jalen Green. I was actually like really hyping him up because the back of my mind, I didn't think we're going to get first. And I was like, we need a shooting guard. We haven't really had a real shooting guard since Rip Hamilton. It's been a minute. And
KCP.
Yeah, no, I don't count that as a shooting guard. I don't even know what the hell that was.
He liked to shoot and he was a guard.
Oh, he liked to shoot. He just didn't make anything.
No, it's true.
He was a brick guard. But yeah, man, it's just like I was cool with Houston fans, but they're definitely they're in the mentions all the time. They talk a lot of smoke. I have met some cool Houston fans, but most of the fan base is pretty toxic, in my opinion.
So last year, were you thinking like me at all, like that Killian Hayes was just going to step up in his second year and be like the franchise? Because I was kind of seeing a situation where I'm like, dude, if Killian Hayes had showed enough, could the Pistons have drafted Jalen Green in that top spot to play alongside him?
Yeah, I think, if they don't get the first pick, they're probably drafting Mobley or Green in that scenario. But either way, Killian would have, someone that he could grow with. But now they kind of have to move him to the bench. I remember last year I said that he's probably going to be playing the bench, and I got so many weird looks because I knew him and Cade wouldn't work together. When you're a non-shooting guard, it's just not going to work out.
I said the same thing last year between Killian Hayes and Cade. I said that ultimately one of those two guys would have to sacrifice big parts of their game, whether it was Killian Hayes playing off the ball, sticking him in the corner, and letting him be kind of like a 3-and-D guard. You're taking away his playmaking and his ability to create for others. That was a big thing that I thought they would be missing if those two played. But then on the flip side, I said, if Killian Hayes really is like this franchise point guard and he's able to bring the floor up and run the offense, you're asking Cade to play more off the ball and take away parts of his game that make him so special. So I personally am very glad that they're bringing Killian Hayes off the bench because I just didn't love the fit between those two right away.
Yeah, I think it's a perfect spot too. When you look at him off the bench, I know they signed Corey Joseph, or they didn't sign him. He opted into his player option. Why wouldn't he? I mean, I wouldn't walk away from $5 million either. But I think Killian Hayes to me is just going to be a perfect backup point guard in this league. I think his ceiling is a Marcus Smart role.
No, I agree. I kind of compared him to a little bit like Tony Allen too, where he's just going to be such an elite level defensive player, but teams are going to play off of him offensively if he can't figure out how to shoot the ball. Which I mean, I think he shoots the ball better than Tony Allen, but I mean, dude, it's Tony Allen was such a bad offensive player. Like, who cares how well? Who cares if Killian's a better shooter than him? But yeah, no, I like Killian Hayes off the bench, and that doesn't mean he can't finish games for Detroit. And I mean,
no.
And even if they drafted Benedict Mathurin or Jaden Ivey, you and I had mentioned this to you at the beginning of the NBA season when you had said Jaden Ivey, you wanted him to be the pick for the Detroit Pistons. This was like, I think 8 games into the season or something. Mm-hmm. And someone had replied to you. I forget what they said, but I had replied to them and said, no, what you're missing is Jaden Ivey, Cade Cunningham, and Killian Hayes all could play together and share the floor together. They all
yeah, I mean, you could go back to Casey. I mean, he was running 3-guard lineups in Toronto. He likes 3-guard lineups. He just doesn't have the talent to actually play it consistently. I mean, they work, but I mean, at the same time, you kind of have to build within your system and not try to copycat off of other teams. But did want to get into, what is your dream pick?
My dream pick? Okay.
Yeah, like, let's just say, someone just absolutely love it at 5.
Well, my dream pick would be Jaden Ivey for sure. Like, I just think he brings so much to the table. But my dream scenario for the Pistons would be getting Jaden Ivey at 5, but then finding a way to get back in, say like 13, 14, 15, 16, and drafting someone like a Jalen Duren or a Mark Williams if they had to slip. Like, that is my absolute dream scenario. But if we're talking just dream pick, Jaden Ivey, and then followed by Benedict Mathurin.
Yeah, I would probably say Jaden Ivey too. Like you said, I was really high on him. A lot of people, I don't know. I'm kind of a sicko when it comes to draft prospects. I'll talk draft prospects like 1 week into the season, and people are like, "Oh, you already gave up on the season?" I'm like, "No, I didn't give up. Like, I just, I like the process of watching these guys, and I thought that Jaden Ivey would be really good." And, a lot of people are like, "Oh, you're crazy." And, 4 or 5 months later, Jaden Ivey this, Jaden Ivey that, Jaden Ivey this. It's like, I telling you he was nice, but I mean, I'd love Jaden Ivey at 5. I think he could complement Cade Cunningham in the backcourt. They could take turns of taking over games. To me, what I really like about his game is his off-ball ability. I think a lot of people give him crap for his 3-point shooting, but I really think when I look at him, kind of an archetype of what he is, I see a little bit of Victor Oladipo, a little bit of D-Wade. Like, he's got a mixture of, those elite shooting guards that, are really good. I mean, I think people forget how good Victor Oladipo was in Indiana before he got injured. Guy was averaging almost 30 points a game.
That's actually a really great comp for Jaden Ivey, by the way, like with the Victor Oladipo one. I love that comp. I know a lot of people I've kind of compared him more to like the Russell Westbrook, the John Morant type. I mean, that's an easy cop out for a guard like Jaden Ivey, but his off ball, like his ability to play off ball, yeah, it is eerily reminiscent of Victor Oladipo. And I loved Victor Oladipo. I mean, I still do, I mean, even though he's hurt, but like he had some decent moments for the Miami Heat, this playoff run that they had, but that's a great comp for Jaden Ivey. It really is.
Yeah, I mean, I would be ecstatic if he's there at 5. Like I said, I just know how toxic Sacramento is. And they're like, "Oh, yeah, we're going to trade Tyrese Halliburton away for Sabonis, but we're going to basically draft a guy that's literally a Spider-Man meme with De'Aaron Fox." Like, straight up. Like, they're the same freaking player.
Could you possibly see Sacramento trading someone else like a De'Aaron Fox or like a Davion Mitchell and keeping Jaden Ivey?
I mean, if they were to trade Davion Mitchell, it's probably for another player that they feel that can really help them push the playoffs, because I think they're desperate. Like, I think they're in the situation where we were a few years ago when we had Andre Drummond and Reggie Jackson and we pushed for Blake. Like, I think they're to the point where I'm going to sacrifice my future just to make a play-in or just to make an 8 seed. So that's my feeling when I look at Sacramento, because like you have all this money invested in Sabonis now and Fox, and you still have Harrison Barnes on the books. I mean, that team's it's just a mess. Like I told you earlier before we were going live, like one of my friends that does cover the Kings, I told him, I was like, dude, it's a mess. Like, you guys need to rebuild. And he's like, no, we're trying to make the playoffs, no tanking. I was like, bro, like you're gonna be rebuilding for like 5 to 6 years because of the terrible contracts you gave out.
And dude, they're not making the playoffs next year anyways. I already have a feeling about it. Like, it's the Kings. Like, I mean, you want them to succeed, but I'd rather have them succeed in a different city just because, I don't know, it's Sacramento. I got nothing but I have nothing to say about Sacramento. I've never been there, but I've watched the Kings for years, and they've been terrible for as long as I can remember, other than when they were running the Pistons offense. So, yeah, Sacramento, they're going to make some wild choices. Hopefully they don't draft Jaden Ivey and mess this whole thing up for us Pistons fans. My God. But that would be a very Sacramento thing to do, would be to draft a guard that reminds you of the guard you already have on the team. It's like, how about we get 2 of these guys and see if it works? It won't.
I got to give a shout out to my guy Dominique Davis, because the guy makes me laugh. I had this comment a little while ago: a 3-guard lineup of Kojo, Frank, and Saban Lee, elite.
Oh my gosh. I mean, in the G League.
Oh man! Shout out to Saban. Happy birthday, by the way, bro.
Oh,
Happy
I love
birthday,
Sabo,
Saban.
dude. I love
Saban. Me too. Hope we keep him, because his shot is looking nice. Shout out to the guard whisperer too. He has changed his shot completely.
Dude, show these videos. I want to see them. I'll retweet them for you. I'm calling you out. I shouldn't even have done that. My bad, bro.
I'll reach out to him. I'll reach out to the guard whisperer today. I'm like, yo, so show me that Saban shot.
Or just send them to me. Just send them to me. I won't share them.
I hope he does stay around, though. I really like Saban, but happy birthday to him. We're going to get back to, what's your nightmare pick? Like, you just hate this pick. You're like, what the hell, Troy Weaver, really?
So my nightmare pick, if I had to put a player on it, man, I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but like, I'm not loving the Keegan Murray fit in Detroit just because that would probably be a nightmare situation for me. I just don't love Keegan Murray in Detroit because there's so – I mean, you got Sadiq Bey, Isaiah Livers, Isaiah Stewart. It's a very unathletic front court right now, like with Keegan Murray bunched into it. So that'd be a nightmare pick for me. Really, but like Shadon Sharp would be a nightmare pick for me because look, I'm going to paint it 2 ways. If they do draft Shadon Sharp, if they do draft him, you can bring him along slowly. There's no pressure. That's great. And then you can compete for it. Then the Pistons can compete for a top 5, top 10 pick in next year's draft class, which is a much stronger draft class. And if that's the route they want to go, dude, I support it. I think that would be great if that's the route they want to go. The thing about Shadon, the thing about the kid from Baylor, Jeremy Socon, hopefully I'm saying his last name right. I doubt it. Those guys are projects. I don't want a project player at all in Detroit. I don't want to wait a couple of years for these dudes to be ready. I don't want to be – look, we just came off a stellar rookie season in Cade Cunningham. I want more of that going forward. I want to root for a guy that's in the running for the rookie of the year. I know it seems so selfish of me, but seriously, that is what I want. And I should get what I want. I'm a fan. Listen to me. So I don't want them taking a project that are going to be a couple years away or a project they have so many holes in their game. They're playing like 12 minutes a night. I don't want them to draft a player that's going to be playing like 12 minutes a night. I don't want that. I feel like that is the scenario for Shadon and Jeremy Socon. I just feel like, or, some of these other players, like I just don't want a project. That's my nightmare. That's my nightmare pick, a project.
I'm surprised you didn't name this guy, and I'm looking at FanDuel Sportsbook right now, and I'm terrified because he's got the 3rd best odds to get drafted by Detroit, and that's Dyson Daniels. He's a plus 460 to get drafted by the Detroit Pistons. Now, defensively, the kid's a dog.
Yeah.
But he can't shoot. I already have that on my team. I have Killian Hayes. He can't shoot. Like, it would just be such parody if they drafted Dyson Daniels at 5 and you pass on a Keegan Murray or you pass on a Jaden Ivey, or I don't hate Shadon Sharp, but I kind of get annoyed when people say he's got so much upside. I'm like, how does he have upside? You didn't see him play. You're
Exactly.
watching high school tape, or people they're going on YouTube watching his full high school games. That's high school. It's not NBA. It's not even the G League. Like, if he went to the G League, is he a top 5 pick? I don't know. Personally, he's probably out of the lottery.
I mean, it kind of feels like BJ Boston last year, though, right? He was projected to go top 5 at the beginning of the year. Pistons fans were enamored with him. I was one of them. Thought he was going to be great. What happened to him? He slipped. Like, look, I played high school basketball. It's not that impressive what Shadon was doing. Believe me, it's not. It's high school basketball. I was on that level at one point. By the way, that is just a joke. Like, I did not play on the level of a Shadon in the eyeball or whatever it's called. I did not do any of that. But you get what I'm saying. Like, it's high school. Like, there's a lot of us that played it. So who cares what he did at high school? I mean, yeah, I get it, though, because, I mean, he's a freak of nature athletically. Don't get me wrong. But I just need to see more. And, like, dude, if you're projected to go top 5, like, this late in the game, like Shadon is, and you're not competing to even up your draft stock, dude, I don't want you. You're not a competitor, in my opinion. You're not a competitor. I want a guy that's going to compete and always try to work on his game. And that just Shadon does not feel like that guy. But I also get it from the other sense. You've done enough to where you could be a top 5, top 10 pick. Like, I mean, good for you. Go get the bag. But, like, as being a competitor, as someone that loves to compete, dude, if I'm at the draft combine, I'm trying to kill dudes there, man. I'm trying to take it at them every single time to show everybody why I should be drafted that high. But that's just not in Shadon's DNA, it seems like.
Yeah, like you don't want to work out for GMs, and GMs got pissed over it. Like, I understand what he's doing. It's really smart from his standpoint because he's probably going to be a lottery pick and he's going to be a millionaire by the end of the night. And I understand that. But there's just so many question marks with them. I get the measurables, 6'5", 7-foot wingspan, like a 48-inch, 49-inch vertical. That's impressive. But, like, I don't know, man. Like, if the Pistons drafted him, I wouldn't be mad because it's a swing. It's a big risk. And that's something I haven't seen in a long time.
Hey, well, you haven't seen it in a long time. They took a swing with Sekou. I know he was at 15, but still, they took a swing with Sekou. They swung for the fences with that. I said that's either a home run pick or it falls short of the fence when it comes to Sekou. And I feel like you're right. It's the same thing with Shadon. It's just a swing for the fence. You're hoping it pans out, but I don't know. I just don't trust Detroit with projects like that, man.
It's hard because they haven't developed anything in years.
Nope. Like, that's the weird thing about, like, Detroit and Sacramento and Oklahoma City, like, those type of franchises. You got to draft, like, character, like what Troy Weaver was talking about 2 years ago. That matters so much when you're a smaller franchise like those teams, because you need to find guys that just want to ball. They don't care what city it is. They just want to hoop. You need character guys like that are going to go out. They're going to play for your team. They're going to embrace your city. They're going to work hard to develop themselves and really try to push themselves to be one of those best. And, yeah, I don't know. Back to Shadon. I don't feel like it's him.
Yeah, me either. Like I said, Dyson Daniels. Wish you all the best, kid, but stay away from my freaking franchise.
Who are you weeping more for, though, Shadon or Dyson? Like, who is picked, and are you crying if one of those names is called?
Maybe Dyson. Yeah, I mean, like, I could understand the Sharp pick because it's kind of a need, and if you hit, you look like a genius. But if you miss, people are just going to be like, whatever. Like, at least you tried. With Dyson, it's just like, he's good defensively. He's good cutting to the basket. I mean, he balled out with Cade in the All-Star game. But it's just like, at the same time, it's like, dude, you shot 25% from 3 in the G League. That's bad.
He feels like a Lonzo Ball pick. And again, like, I don't want to wait 3 years for him to be ready to contribute when he's on his third team. Do you feel – I know we're about to move on, but do you feel like if the Pistons passed over Jaden Ivey, it would be similar to them passing over Devin Booker?
I kind of look at it as like the Tyrese Halliburton. As I feel like I know a lot of fans like do that. They're like, oh, well, we passed on Devin Booker. We passed on Donovan Mitchell. We passed on Carmelo Anthony. Like, Devin Booker, I believe, was like, what, the 12th or the 13th pick?
Yeah, I think he was number 13.
Yeah, it's like a lot of teams pass on him. Like personally, when I saw Devin Booker, I did not think he was going to be anything special. I will fully admit that. I'm a dumbass. I was really high on Justice Winslow or Stanley Johnson coming out of that draft. I fell into the hype. I think we all did. When he said Detroit versus everybody, I think everyone in Detroit wanted to run through a wall for that guy. Like straight up.
I loved the Stanley Johnson pick, but going back and watching him at Arizona, the dude never dunked the basketball. I don't
No.
understand that. Like, dude, you're 6'7", 6'8", 240 pounds. You're one of the best athletes on the planet. And you're pulling moves like I would. Like, I'm 6 foot. Like, I have to go up and under people to make a basket. Stanley Johnson did not have to do that. And I remember seeing, like, he'd be on a fast break and, like, jelly roll it. I'm like, dude, what are you doing, bro? You're driving the lane and you got to go. I think he was just too afraid of contact. That's what I think messed up Stanley Johnson.
I'm all that Van Gundy, but that's another freaking conversation for
Yeah,
day.
that's true.
I could have a longer, series than The Last Dance on Stan Van Gundy of Detroit. Straight up.
Oh my gosh. That would be an epic documentary if they ever decide to make it.
Oh man. So one of the last questions I know you did want to talk about is, players that aren't going to get drafted by Detroit, but you're just straight up rooting for. You want to see them do well. So I'll let you go.
Oh, this is awesome. These are guys I'm going to be watching for. I just love the game of basketball. Let me just say that. Like I'm never going to like actively look at a prospect and be like, dude, I hope you suck. I hope you're terrible. Hope you have a career-ending injury. I'll never do that, so I'm always going to be rooting for guys. But my guys that I'm rooting for that aren't going to be playing for the Pistons, Mark Williams, 7'2" center out of Duke. Love that guy. I don't know what he's going to be in the NBA. I'm just rooting for him. Walker Kessler out of Auburn. I just love that guy's game. He's a three-point shooter. He can play down low and he can block shots. What is not to love about Walker Kessler? And he has one of the greatest Western movie names ever, Walker Kessler. That is a hero in a movie. That is why I'm rooting for Walker Kessler. Ron Harper Jr., I have an old card of his dad when he played for Cleveland. Look up the numbers, fell in love with it. So that's why I'm rooting for Ron Harper Jr. Darren Sebron, dude, I know I said I don't want the Pistons to draft a project player. They can draft Sebron in the second round, and my life could end, and I would die a very happy man if they drafted Sebron. Second round. Kenneth Lofton Jr., love him too. Saw him in Team USA. Just love Kenneth Lofton Jr. And I'm a Michigan basketball fan, so I'm also going to say Moussa Diabate. I love his game. I think he could potentially be a steal in this year's NBA draft.
No love for Caleb Houston?
I mean, I didn't want to just be like that basketball fan. But yeah, dude, I'll just throw Eli Brooks in there as well, too. I love Eli Brooks. I hope he does well, even though I don't think he ever gets drafted.
I mean, one guy that I'm really rooting for, and I think where he goes does matter, is AJ Griffin. I really like his game, and I think he could be just a prototypical 3-and-D. Like, I'd love him in New Orleans. I think that would be just such a great fit with Zion and all those guys over there. Just he's one guy that I was contemplating. Like, if we fell in the draft the 7, that's the guy I would look at. Another guy is Jaden Hardy. Out of Detroit. Would not be surprised if he's our second round pick. He was basically hanging out with Cade and all the guys months ago. So I'm not surprised by that whatsoever. I mean, him and Jaden Ivey were taking pictures before the draft. So, I mean, that could be your number 5 and 36 pick right there. The two Jadens. That'd be dope.
I would love
probably one guy that I am rooting for, and it's only because my cousin went to high school with him, and that's Ryan Rollins out of Toledo. He's a shooting guard. So, gotta support the, local kid.
So, okay. Let's talk about Jaden Hardy, though, for a second. Okay. What else is this dude bringing you outside of scoring? I know that's his big thing that he does. He's a good scoring guard, but if that doesn't click in the NBA, what's he bringing to the team?
I mean, he's an above average defender. I think if you look at him, it's a project. I think basically anyone you take out of the second round is a project. I mean, you're not. There's no like sure thing in the second round. I know. Like, I think we hit on Isaiah Livers last year. I honestly do. Like, even though he's a little bit older, once he put it together, I mean, he was playing really good defense. You know, hitting the shot. Really like him. Like, honestly, like I wouldn't be surprised if we took a Michigan guy because of the beeline effect. Would not be surprised at all. Like, my buddy was just like, he's like, I swear, if we trade for Karis LeVert, I'm gonna like wring your neck because you've been speaking it into existence.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I like Karis LeVert too. I mean,
Yeah.
oh man, yeah. If this whole team could just be made full of Michigan players, that'd be really cool. It wouldn't be very good, but there's some studs in there from time to time.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I know there's been a lot of news lately, and obviously we're basically out of topics, and some people have been adding some stuff in the chat. So this is what I saw earlier. I don't know if you saw it. So Charlotte's basically saying, take Gordon Hayward off our hands. Would you be willing to absorb that cap hit if they were willing to, throw in that 13th or that 14th pick?
Oh, for Gordon Hayward? Oh,
Yeah.
dude, I would take that in a heartbeat. I love Gordon Hayward's game, man. I mean, he's only playing like what, 45 to 49 games a year.
Yeah.
That's perfect in case, the season if the Pistons don't start out hot, I mean, it's just, you might be able to sit Gordon Hayward a little bit and compete for another top 5 pick, top 10 pick. I know people don't want to hear that, but that's what Gordon Hayward gives you because he doesn't play all season. So
Yeah.
I like it. And especially when we were just talking about the dream scenario earlier when we were doing this, to get another shot at drafting 13, 14, 15, whatever the picks are, that would be crazy in my mind. That would be awesome. I'd definitely take Gordon Hayward for a chance at that.
Oh, for sure. And then there's reports that Troy is in love with so many Jalen's in this draft. Jalen Duren out of Memphis, but I don't know if you've seen him. Man, that boy looks jacked.
Oh, dude, he looks like a baby Dwight Howard. It's amazing.
I mean, if he's there at 13 and you can absorb that cap hit, and maybe you're having second thoughts on DeAndre Ayton. Man, that kid's nice. Like I love Ayton, and I know all the Ayton talk is the talk of the town right now. Like people are saying that Ayton wants to play with Cade. Ayton wants to do this. Like, yeah, he wants a max contract. Why wouldn't you want to play with Cade? At the end of the day, it's dollars. But I definitely would like Jalen Duren. I wouldn't mind taking that cap hit either. Like if you're gonna add first round picks or future first, I'm all for it.
Same, and I mean, I could easily see them roll out a lineup next year of like Cade, Ivey, Saddiq Bey, Gordon Hayward to start the year, then Isaiah Stewart. But if they get Jalen Duren, maybe he starts later on in the season. Maybe you move Gordon Hayward to the bench, a la Kevin Love in Cleveland. Yeah, it would be a great situation. Do you remember when all those Pistons, it was Cade, Isaiah Stewart, Isaiah Livers, and Killian Hayes, along with Dwayne Casey, watching the Boston Celtics?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They were watching the Miami Heat as well. Let's not get it twisted. But I really feel like they were there watching the Boston Celtics. And I feel like Dwayne Casey was making it a point to Isaiah Stewart, like, look how Al Horford operates offensively. Look where he is on the floor. That is something I'm not saying they're the same players. Let me make that very clear. But, I mean, they're kind of similar. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, he's like, watch Al Horford, watch where he's out on the floor, and watch how he plays with Rob Williams. That's what I want you to do because we're going to be bringing in an athletic 6'9", 6'10" guy that can block shots and play defense, Jalen Duren. Maybe that's what they were preparing him for. Maybe they were showing Isaiah Stewart, look, learn how to play with a guy like that because we're bringing one in.
Yeah, like I kind of got hyped over that whole thing. And then shout out to Amari. He basically just like burst my bubble on the whole thing. The only reason why Killian and Isaiah were out there was for a Puma thing.
Yeah, I've heard that. And that don't burst my bubble, man. Jeez. Here I am trying to make people psyched up about the season. Love it.
Yeah, I mean it is what it is. I mean, like obviously, Dwayne Casey was probably coaching them out there. Like I think it was a good moment, but like at the same time, I thought they're like, hey, you guys want to go watch the Celtics?
Well, okay, but do you remember that picture that came up? It was like I think it was Isaiah Thomas and Mark Aguirre at the Boston. I thought maybe like because it's it's young guys, it's a younger generation. They're like, dude, let's duplicate that photo. Let's just go there and do the same thing. That's what I thought it was too. I thought it could be part of that. Like they were just trying to like duplicate what Isaiah Thomas and Mark Aguirre did.
I mean, I thought it was cool. I think all the players really respect Dwayne Casey, and I think that's really huge because if they didn't respect him, they wouldn't have even told him they were going. Like they texted him like, "Hey, coach, I'm out in Boston. Where are you?" He literally like flew out just to go watch the game with them. I thought that was really cool. I mean, like you said, you had Isaiah out there, you had Killian out there, Cade, Isaiah Livers was there too. But it's pretty cute that we own the Celtics every time we play them. So I don't really know what he's coaching them up for.
Well, like okay, but you think about you think about Boston though, and you think about how that team was built and how it was brought together. You had Tatum, Brown, Marcus Smart all coming up in the draft. Guys like Grant Williams coming up in the draft, Rob Williams coming up in the draft. Like it's eerily similar to how the Pistons are building their team. So I do think it was more of just like coincidence that they were there. I do think that they were there for a reason. Like, I mean, I even look at all the players and I'm like, okay, you got Cade. He's kind of like that Jason Tatum type where, he is the franchise. You have Killian Hayes and we were talking about it a little bit earlier. He's that Marcus Smart type. You have Isaiah Livers, who's probably going to be in that Grant Williams role. Then you have Isaiah Stewart, who, I mean, come on, let's be honest. He's closer to Al Horford than he is Robert Williams. So then you have that. So that's what I do really think that's why I don't even really know what I'm trying to say. But I do think that was the reason they were out there was just to watch those guys and say, look, they've made it work. You guys just stick together and maybe we could be here too.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think in a few years we're just going to pass Boston, honestly. Like, I don't really think, like, I look at Boston and I kind of look at all the draft picks they had and how many freaking misses they had to the point where it's just like, dude, come on. Dude, quit freaking Woj, you piece of. Let's see. I'll read the tweet. As I just reported on our NBA draft show, Paolo Banchero has joined Auburn Jabari Smith under serious consideration for the first overall pick. Magic are complicating things.
Dude, do the right thing, Magic, and draft Jabari Smith. Gosh, just do that. You already have a playmaker in Franz. You got I don't understand it. I don't get it. I'm really not that high on Paolo Banchero, I'll be honest with you. I think he's like David West or Carlos Boozer more than he is Chris Webber. That's my take. That's my big thing. But really, real quick, going back to the Detroit Pistons and the Boston Celtics thing, Saddiq Bey wasn't there. Maybe there's a trade coming. Who knows?
You shut your whore mouth.
No, I was not expecting that.
I will be so mad. You have no idea. I love Saddiq. I really do. I know someone asked that, like, would it deter us from drafting Keegan Murray? I think with Grant gone and Keegan's there, they'll take him. Like, honestly, well, I mean, you have like a 3-4 combo for the next 10 years. You have your small forward and power forward because both of those guys can play, 2 through 4, honestly. They're very similar builds.
On offense.
Honestly, like, I wouldn't hate it. I love Tatum, but he's mentally weak right now.
Oh, wow. This is true, though. He is pretty weak.
Yeah, he is.
Look. Listen, if the Sacramento Kings, because I believe they've been rumored to Saddiq Bey multiple times, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, since he's been like a rookie. Since he threw up his first 3-point shot, Sacramento has been like, dude, we need him. We need him. We've never had a guy shoot the ball like that. If they offered the 4th pick straight up for Saddiq Bey, would you take that? Because I think Saddiq Bey is a lot closer to his ceiling as a player than a lot of Pistons fans do. I mean, like, I also am the first – I shouldn't say I'm the first person, but I was one of the first to say that Saddiq Bey kind of reminded me of Danny Granger, who was a one-time All-Star with Indiana. And in a perfect universe, Saddiq Bey could be like a Danny Granger. I just don't think we're in that universe with him right now. And I think he's honestly his best use in the NBA is going to be like being a 3rd or 4th option on a team and probably like really good as a 4th option on a team.
Yeah, it's hard. like, would I take that trade? So I would have 4 and 5. That's tough because realistically, you could get Jaden Ivey and maybe you like someone at 5. Like maybe you get Jaden Ivey at 4, and maybe Keegan Murray's your guy at 5. I
That's what
mean,
I'm thinking.
it's intriguing, but I would probably have to say no. Just for the fact, because I think there is a lot of untapped potential in Saddiq Bey. A lot of people just think he's just going to be a role player. They think he's going to be a number 3 or 4 on a team. I don't agree with that. I think he's a gym rat. He reminds me of Kawhi Leonard a lot when he was younger.
Oof.
When I look at Saddiq, I think there's a lot of untapped potential that they haven't even scratched the surface yet. I mean, that 50-point game, man, he was hitting shit that I've never even seen him hit in practice, man. That shit was crazy. I don't know. I'm just really high in Saddiq. I just don't think, trading him this early in his career for, a 4th pick, because you really want Jaden Ivey, would be a positive for the Pistons. I feel like it'd be a negative because now you're hoping Keegan Murray can be what Saddiq Bey is. Maybe he doesn't pan out, and then you're kind of like, crap, we need another forward because we can't defend anything.
See, I kind of think it's the other way. You're kind of hoping Saddiq Bey turns into what Keegan Murray is projected right now as a 3-level scorer and, a potential 5-man in certain lineups. I mean, Keegan Murray's a guy that we saw it again, I'm going off college tape. So don't destroy me on Twitter or in the comments or whatever. I'm just being honest. We're going by college tape. So he's a 3-level scorer in college. He's a guy that can get a defensive rebound and push it in transition. He kind of reminds me of a Jeff Green light, where he has that positional versatility between the 3, 4, and the 5. I love that with Keegan Murray. And with Saddiq Bey, you're kind of hoping he becomes a 3-level scorer, right? Right now, he's more of a 3 and kind of a D guy. You know what I'm saying? He's kind of that. I mean, I'm saying he is definitely a 3-point shooter, little inconsistent, and there's a little bit more defensively that's desired in his game. But in terms of offense, you want him to be like Keegan Murray. You want him to be that 3-level scorer. So why not trade him when his value is the highest as it is right now, whatever that may be, and then bring the guy that's already ahead of him offensively and probably already better than him defensively?
See, I don't think Keegan Murray's better than Saddiq Bey right now.
I mean, give it a year. You never know.
Mean,
I also think Saddiq Bey looks a lot better on the Pistons just because this roster lacks a ton of talent.
It does. I know Dominique makes a really good point, and I do remember this press conference with Cade saying he thinks him and Cade could be a really good duo. If that's true, wouldn't want to upset the franchise player by trading him. And that's the real thing, man. I've been thinking about it a lot, and I think a big reason why Troy actually did trade Jeremy Grant is because this is no reporting or anything like that, so don't quote me or anything. But I think Cade's camp is really pressuring the Pistons to, get, winners on the court. I don't think they want to have another 20-win season because it's bad for his brand and his image. I think they really want to push for the playoffs. That's why you see the Ayton rumors. You see, we could go get Miles Bridges and DeAndre Ayton, or Miles Bridges and Jalen Brunson, or Colin Sexton. I think they're going to just try to splash and try to push for the playoffs and maybe kind of rush this rebuild to keep Cade and his camp happy.
Yeah, I could see that, but I hope they don't. Dude, they're making room though, right? They're probably making room. That's why they traded Jeremy. No, I think the reason really they traded Jeremy Grant was just because they have another move that's going to be made, another trade that's going to be made, whether it's Gordon Hayward or somebody else. But I also think Cade said that because maybe he heard some grumblings hey, look, Saddiq Bey, you're my boy. And he's just saving face in front of everybody. Look, I wanted to keep Saddiq Bey. I wanted him here. I told him we could be one of the great duos, but he knows that they ultimately might trade him. So he's trying to save face. Look, I fought for you. I really wanted you to be here with me when we won a championship, but it didn't happen. Sorry, man. I don't know if Cade really cares about who he plays with. I think also Cade is one of those guys, because he seems pretty level-headed, that if they were to trade Saddiq Bey, as long as they brought someone in that was equal or could eventually be better, he'd be like, okay, yeah, cool, I understand it. They all know that the NBA is a business at the end of the day, and it's nothing personal.
Yeah, I just look at that Portland trade as, we're just going to salary dump you. We really don't care what we get in return because, listen, we don't want to lose Cade. Like, they don't want a Grant Hill situation on their hands. Because let's face it, Cade Cunningham is probably the best draft pick since Grant Hill, honestly.
No, it's true.
And
I would agree with that.
that's what I'm thinking. I've been thinking about it for a couple days. I'm just like, man, I said they may just rush this rebuild because they want to keep Cade happy. And, I think they're going to make a big splash, whether it's Bridges, Ayton, Brunson. Now they have, enough cap space for 2 max guys. And I just don't really look of anyone in this free agency class worth the max. But that's just me personally. I don't really think Ayton's worth the max. I don't think Brunson's worth the max. I don't think Bridges is worth the max. I think any other year these guys are, getting like an average contract anywhere from like maybe 15 to 20 million, but no 30 million. It's just crazy.
Yeah, I've been thinking about the 30 million mark too for Ayan. Like I've already told you that I'm not trying to max out Ayan. Like I'm good on that. But even though when I think about it, like 30 million a year now seems like a lot, but in like 2 years, is it going to be that much when like the new CBA comes in and the new TV deals come in or whatever that is? Like, is 30 million really going to be that bad for DeAndre Ayan? Who knows?
Probably not when Jeremy Grant could probably get an extension by Portland for 30 million this year. I mean, you look at guys like Tobias Harris, he's making up of, close to 40 million. And he's a role player. So
Yep.
like to your point, yeah, I get it. But at the same time, you have to be smart with your moves because every move you make right now could affect what you do in the future.
No, that's true, 100%. Real quick though, when did Troy Weaver say the rebuild would take about 3 years?
I think during his press conference, his introductory press conference, he said, "Give me 3 years to build this team." We're going into year 3 now, and I think he's going to get talent in this draft. I think we're going to come out with maybe 2 first-round draft picks. I think that's why they made that trade for Jeremy Grant. Maybe they absorbed cap to try to get future first-round picks. But I mean, he's built talent. I'm not going to deny him there. You got a bunch of guys on rookie deals. I think your highest paid player right now is Kelly Olynyk at like 13 million. So he's clearing the cap. And who knows, Kelly Olynyk might get traded. We really don't know, man. Like it's so crazy. Like I don't think he's gonna have a night like during his first year where he's just trading everybody. But if there's a deal to be made where he feels that he can better the team, I'm sure he'll do it.
But I mean, do you think that though, if this is truly year 3 and they're like, well, look, we're competing for a play-in or a playoffs, based on what he's done so far, do you think it's enough? Like, I mean, you look at the guys that he has that look like they're promising: Killian Hayes, Isaiah Stewart, Sadiq Bey, Cade Cunningham. We'll throw Isaiah Livers in there as well. You got those 5 guys that he has drafted that look to be real promising, regardless of what their role is going to be. Is that enough? Like, I kind of was hoping that there'd be some more star power when he was drafting.
Yeah, I think we really got screwed out of the Killian draft, honestly, with COVID. Because you look back, we basically had the same record as Minnesota. Like if COVID didn't really hit the league, I mean, we had to play Minnesota 2 more times, and we're probably picking in the top 3. It could change out the whole franchise. You don't have Cade Cunningham, but it's just like I think the rebuild is going well. I think the only blemish right now is Killian Hayes because you had players like Halliburton out there who I think was a better point guard at the time. But maybe Killian will prove me wrong. Maybe he'll actually develop this year. Maybe he'll, get some sort of offense, finish with both hands, not just his right. Maybe he can finish with his right and left. I'm hoping that. But I mean, I think he's done a pretty good job of, going after guys that he wants to trade for versus, going to get them in free agency, whether it's like Diallo or, guys like that. I think that's what Troy's done a really good job at is he doesn't want to go pay Diallo in free agency, but he's going to trade for him.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, like, Troy Weaver has made me a believer in what he's done. I just don't know if this is the draft that I would want to stop at and be like, look, we're getting a Jaden Ivey, a Benedict Mathurin, or a Keegan Murray. We're all set for the future. Like, those names don't pop out to me like
No.
franchise saviors. I mean, I do love Jaden Ivey, and I think he could be a legit star in the league. Don't get me wrong, but like, I want one more player through the draft. I want another top 5 guy, another top 5 pick after this year coming in and really like solidifying this team as a potential contender for a couple years down the road.
Absolutely. Like I think I wouldn't be mad if they were to basically just I don't want to say tank for another year, but like if you make moves and just, absorb cap and, try to get draft picks, kind of do the OKC thing, I wouldn't be mad at it. But at the same time, I think the fan base might be kind of upset because it's going into year 3 and you're still winning 20 games. But
Yeah.
I think they need another year of just acquiring talent because I think next year's draft is even stronger than this year's draft.
Yeah, but look at
And
the
I know people are like, oh, hey, you're looking the next year's draft. You're already like watching this year. I think they can make a play-in, honestly. Play-in would be the floor for me for this team. I think they have enough talent to compete around that 9-10 seed.
Man, I think playing is like the ceiling for this team. Just because you look at the roster, top to bottom, it's not very good. Like, dude, we were playing Luca Garza last year. He's not an MB. No offense to any fans of his. Like, I mean, he's better off as a cheerleader on the team. Like, no offense to him. It's just the NBA has moved past guys like him. And we were playing him minutes. And I know it was out of necessity at times, but then you got like, you look at Frank Jackson, who I loved. I love Frank Jackson, but he's the second best shot creator on this team right now.
Yeah.
That's not good. Like, it's not good. How do you win when Frank Jackson is your second best shot creator? You need other guys that can do that. And, kudos to Sadiq Bey getting a 50-point game, but who else was shooting in that game? Like, if you go look back at that game, like, who else was even on there? I don't even think Cade Cunningham played in that. Did Cade play in that game? I don't want to get that wrong if he did. But
I don't remember.
I thought it was just like a Sadiq Bey game. And it's like, all right, yeah, of course Sadiq Bey had a 50-point game. Who else was shooting the ball that night? Again, I'm not trying to be that negative of a Pistons fans because I hate that. But I'm okay with the process taking one more year to really solidify this team as a potential contender for years. I'm okay to sit out one more year to make that happen.
Yeah, not to mention the free agents next year are a hell of a lot better. I mean, I wouldn't be against it, but at the same time, like a lot of people are kind of making the standpoint of like, hey, like Jordan Poole's about to get the max, and Dominique is 100% right. He probably will get a max from somebody. That's just the market. I mean, he's a high-level role player. Let's just say that. I mean, he had a hell of a playoffs. I think he was a really big reason, him and Andrew Wiggins, why Golden State even won the title. Like,
I would say that too.
I don't know. I think some Pistons fans get PTSD when they think of cap space. Like, I saw so many memes last night on Twitter. Ben Gordon and Charlie V. Like, they get PTSD when we have cap space, and it's just like, I can understand where they're coming from.
I mean, I get the PTSD for this year's free agency class, though. I mean, it's not that good. Like, I wouldn't want to max anybody out. I wouldn't want to pay someone a ton of money. I'm willing to take on a Gordon Hayward because, one, he's going to make the team a little bit better. We're still going to be able to watch some wins. But then, with Gordon Hayward comes potentially a draft pick or two that we can use to solidify all of this. Like, I would rather the Pistons go that route than maxing someone out from free agency just to compete for the play-in this year.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you could take the OKC approach. I got cap space. I have the most cap space. What contract do you want to unload? Give me a first-round pick. You could just take the Sam Presti approach. And I think Troy, if he does want to go that route, go for it, man. Like, I think Pistons fans would actually like that because when's the last time we've had multiple first-round picks without trading like a ton of players away? I can't think of it.
Neither can I. I just want this rebuild. I just don't want it to be rushed. That's my biggest thing. And even though I love Jaden Ivey, I love Benedict Mathurin, like, I wouldn't hate Keegan Murray in Detroit. I just don't love the fit. But those names, like, yeah, they're good players, but like, I feel like they are ultimately a piece like a smaller piece, like a smaller building block to something greater. And I feel like if you rush it, you're going to mess it all up.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I hope they don't rush it, but in the back of my mind, I think of Tom Gores. I want a star. You know, he may be sick of, winning 20 games. He may want a Bradley Beal. Who knows if he's going to be available? I don't know. Like, you got Hoops Hype saying that, he's declining his player option. He's like, wait, what? Like, I'm not walking away from 35 million. Are you kidding me? Like, come on, man.
I mean, did you see the Dante Murray thing though? Where they were why is Atlanta always rumored to these guys? I don't understand that. Like John Collins for Dante Murray. John Collins was just being shopped for Jeremy Grant. That it's so weird to me. Like is John Collins really that good? Or is he really that bad? I don't know. But I know we're getting off of Pistons, but you just reminded me of Dante Murray when you said Bradley Beal declining and being like, what? Oh no, that's not gonna happen. Because Dante Murray just did the same thing.
I mean, I like John Collins, but I don't really think I think he's overhyped a little bit, personally. I'd like him on my team because I think he'd be freaking electric with Cade because he's just a lob merchant at the end of the day. Some of those dunks are just crazy. But, I mean, I'm not giving away the bank just to get at John Collins.
No, neither am I. Neither am I. I think he's like in that Tobias Harris category where – he's good, but he doesn't really move the needle in the win column too much for your team. He's kind of just a player that's there, borderline all-star, but who knows if he ever makes it.
So it looks like the Magic are going to go with Paolo Banchero.
No way.
Yeah.
Seriously?
For Adrian Wojnarowski. Looks like they're going to go for Paolo with the first overall pick. Which, I can understand it from their standpoint. I mean, to me, I think he's the most offensively ready guy in this draft. I think he can create his own offense already. I hate to say it, but he reminds me a lot of Blake. Like,
you've been saying that for a while.
Yeah, like I just see like Detroit Blake Griffin when I look at him. I even see some Derek Coleman in his game.
Like, great name drop.
Yeah. Shout out to D. Cole.
Wait a minute. Do you want your number one overall pick reminding you of Detroit Blake Griffin, though? That's not good.
It's Orlando. Do they even pay attention to their basketball team?
I mean, it is the retirement city of the world. So, I mean, maybe they're like, get an older player. He'll be here forever. Who knows? Or an older player, or an older playing style player, I should say, or something like that.
That's going to mess up the whole draft order, though.
Dude, it really is. Now there's going to be a bunch of surprises. I thought it would go Jabari number one. Watch Jabari slip. Watch him slip.
If he slips the 3, man, like, I'll be sick. I will be sick to my stomach if they get Jabari Smith. If Houston gets Jabari Smith, I will be sick to my stomach. You have no idea.
What if the draft order goes Paolo, Jaden Ivey, Keegan Murray at number 3, because they're like, look, we got Segun. He's the playmaker. We need a shot maker. So we're going to go Keegan Murray. And then there's Chet Holmgren and Jabari Smith at 4 and 5. We might have to restart.
OKC seems like the franchise is just to screw with the Kings and draft Ivy and be like, haha. Like, Spresti was just like, hey, watch this.
I mean, we were talking earlier how all 3 of them would work in Detroit. Jaden Ivey, Killian Hayes, and Cade Cunningham. It makes sense with Shai, Josh Giddey, and Jaden Ivey. I mean, they can make it work there with Lou Dort just hovering around like a free safety, picking people off. I mean, gosh, Oklahoma City, dude. That's the franchise I want to root for. God, that's amazing. I can't believe Paolo went number 1. I can't believe it.
He's going to go number 1. I can't believe it, man. Like, that's just so crazy that a lot of people had him like 3rd, like all year. It's just like, really?
This is how I know the draft class is like. Don't you get the feeling that this draft class is just going to underwhelm you, like for the remainder of their careers? And it starts with Paolo going number 1.
I just think there's a lot of good role players. I think it's like last year. You know what I mean? Like, there's not like a star in this draft. Maybe Chet, if you believe in the hype and, the upside, and he can gain another 150 pounds. But I mean, like, honestly, that's just crazy to me that Orlando's going to go with Paolo, like, number 1 overall. Like, nothing against Paolo, but, like, it's just a weird fit to me. of him going one.
It is. I don't understand it at all. Like Jabari, again, I don't think Jabari's the best player out of this class, but I think he's like the best fit for what the Orlando Magic were trying to do. But I mean, I don't know. I think this draft class kind of reminds me of the Victor Oladipo draft class. I forget what year that was, where Anthony Bennett went number 1. Dude, that was a class that we didn't like. There was so much mystery. We didn't even know who to take number 1. It kind of feels similar, even though I really felt like Chet should have been number 1.
I'm glad you mentioned Anthony Bennett. Did you see what StatMuse put out today?
What stat was that?
So StatMuse, because they just like trolling people, and with it being the NBA draft, they decided to do a post. I gotta find it. They might have deleted it because Van Gundy was just like, damn it, they did delete it. Oh no, they didn't. Let's see if I can share it on the screen. Hold on. Share screen.
Oh, yeah, and by the way, to Dominique, I would definitely take Cam Johnson on the Detroit
You see this? Bust literally Anthony Bennett.
Oh, my gosh.
And then Van Gundy, like, comments. This is probably the most, like, shout out to DJ Augustine fan club. Like, just roasting Van Gundy.
Oh my God. Go back up to that bust one more time real quick. I just want to see that. Oh my gosh, dude. Like, I would wear that as a t-shirt. Shout out to StatMuse. I mean, oh my gosh.
So many. It's just funny, man. When I saw that, I was like, man, that's hilarious.
Did you know he's the only number 1 pick to have more games without a free throw attempt than Cade Cunningham in like the last 10 years?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, Cade, I think, had like 20 games without a free throw attempt. Anthony Bennett, I think, had like 30.
That's crazy, man. That's absolutely crazy.
Just terrible, dude. But that bust was amazing. Like, can you imagine that as like a poster just behind me? That's all I need on my wall is just Anthony Bennett's bust. It kind of stinks for that guy too, because I loved him coming out of college. He kind of reminded me of Larry Johnson, grandmama, and that's what I thought was going to happen. I'm like, sweet. I was too young for Larry Johnson when he was holding up the L, and now I get to see it again with Anthony Bennett. Anthony Bennett was one of those dudes when I was playing 2K that I would just like increase the numbers and do the development throughout the season and make him an all-star. I loved Anthony Bennett. It just sucks that it didn't work out for him.
Well, we got Commissioner Silver up at the podium right now.
See, I got Jabari Smith talking to Steve Smith on my screen.
I think I'm on. Are you on ABC or ESPN?
I think I'm on NBA TV.
Okay, I'm on ESPN. Who knows? I'm surprised they let Silver talk like that because he just had COVID.
I'm just laughing like Dominique. You didn't know who Anthony Bennett was coming out that year?
To be honest, man, like I feel bad for Cleveland because they had so many like back-to-back first-round picks, and they like, I mean, outside of Kyrie, they whipped on a lot.
Oh, dude, Deion Waiters, Tristan Thompson, Anthony Bennett. They traded Andrew Wiggins. It's weird. Weird energy out of Cleveland.
Yeah. That's what happens when LeBron's there.
Do you think, though, that, like, there's going to be, like – I always think there's going to be a 30 for 30 coming out where there's, like, a Cleveland scandal. Like, we knew LeBron was going to leave, so LeBron left Miami not only to play with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh and to win championships. He did it so this team would be so bad he would have more talent coming back. There'd be more talent on the roster for when he actually came back. I always think that was, like, LeBron's big thing because he knew, like, while he was in Cleveland, he's like, look, we're never going to be able to do good around me. We're all going to be going for like Antoine Jamesons, and I can't win with these guys. So I'm going to leave for a couple of years. You guys suck. Just do your best job at losing, and hey, I'll come back in a couple seasons once you refill out this roster with some talent. I think there's going to be a 30 for 30 on it. That's my one big NBA conspiracy.
I got a feeling Kyrie's going to go to LA. I don't know why.
I like how you just dismissed my NBA conspiracy. You're like, I have no idea what to say to that. I'm good.
I don't. Like, I'm thinking like of like LeBron and stuff. And I was like, dude, watch Kyrie just go to LA.
Do you want to see him in LA?
Yeah, because I kind of want to see LeBron and Kyrie have one more run together, personally.
I want to see Kyrie and LeBron together, and I want to see Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant together. If that happens, I'll take it.
For Russ in Brooklyn, bro, Cade would have a stroke.
Dude, it would be he'd lose more of his hair. Like, it would be unbelievable. But I would love to see that happen. I was thinking about that today. I'm like, yeah, just trade Kyrie Irving for Russell Westbrook and see what happens. I would love it. Because, I mean, what are they going to do with Russell Westbrook? Are they trading him to Detroit? Are we getting those picks 5 years from now? Wasn't that the rumor too?
Westbrook in Detroit, man. That would. I don't know.
Do you kind of feel like Troy Weaver targets Oklahoma City guys when he was there?
Oh, for sure. I mean, he did it with I think Hami. He did it with. There's someone else that we traded from OKC. I can't remember who the hell it was.
I don't remember either, but I always feel like he's always targeting former Oklahoma City Thunder players in free agency.
Yeah, he's got a pattern. He if you kind of look at the roster, a lot of them are from that DMV area.
Yes, they are.
God, Dominic, I can't even focus.
Oh, the Malika Andrews one?
Shout out to her. I guess she's making history to be like the first black woman to actually like co-host the NBA show with Woj and all those guys. So shout out to Malika and fuck Rachel Nichols.
Isn't she like the first woman to do the NBA draft hosting, or did Rachel Nichols do it at one point?
I think Rachel Nichols might have done it, but I think she's the first African American woman to actually do it. So shout out to her for that. That's OG shit. And I'd rather listen to Malika Andrews than Rachel Nichols' whiny ass.
Dude, I do love Malika Andrews. She is pretty awesome. I really I don't know. I guess I'm one of those guys, too, that I just love all basketball coverage. I see nothing wrong with any of them. I don't even see anything wrong with Kendrick Perkins. Like, I actually kind of love Kendrick Perkins as an NBA analyst.
Have I told you my Kendrick Perkins story or no?
No, I got to hear this.
So I'm actually blocked by Kendrick Perkins on Twitter.
Jeez, dude, for what?
So Kendrick Perkins sometimes, he can't pronounce certain players' names.
I seen a video of that earlier today.
For the life of him, he could not say Nikola Vucevic.
Oh.
So I thought it would be funny to Photoshop what he said on the back of Vucevic's jersey. So he called him Vucevic. And he saw it, and he was like, all due respect, you're an asshole. And he blocked my ass.
Wow.
I know,
I've never been blocked by a
wow,
celebrity.
Paulo going first overall. Wow.
Dude, I don't get it. That's why we're not a Magic. Jeez, dude.
Yeah, that suit's kind of weird, bro. Looks like Barney.
Yeah, was he trying to copy the Riddler with that thing?
He might have been, yeah. I don't know.
Well, I wanted to make a joke about the Magic putting a riddle out there for who they would take, and he happens to be wearing the Riddler. Couldn't think of anything on the fly, though. But, yeah, still a questionable pick, though, nonetheless. I just don't get it. Are you still going Chet Holmgren at number 2, though?
No.
Or do you think it's Jabari?
You got to take Jabari. I think you have to.
He's not Kevin Durant. He's only going to disappoint.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I'm not saying he's Kevin Durant, but I think I don't want to. I see more Rashard Lewis personally.
Dude, I see Austin Day. Yeah, that's right. I said it. Austin Day.
That bad, huh?
Well, okay. Dude, they were both just 6'10", 6'11" jump shooters. Austin Day could block a couple shots and get it. Their stats, like, they're not that similar, but like I feel like Austin Day would have put up very similar numbers to Jabari Smith Jabari Smith scoring wise if he didn't play for Gonzaga. Like if he had gone to Auburn when he was playing, he probably would have averaged like 18, 20 points a game. But there was a reason he was drafted in the lottery. Like people thought he was going to be big time. And I just think they're both just tall guys that can shoot. Kind of, I'm Commander, and I think there's a lot more potential defensively on that side from him. But I mean, Austin Day, he averaged like 2 blocks a game in college. That translates to the NBA. He didn't do nothing. Like, I just think I like this Rashard Lewis comp, but even like Rashard Lewis could kind of create a little bit for himself. Jabari can't do that.
Yeah. I'm looking at some of the comps on ESPN, and I almost puked. They compared him to Michael Beasley and Ben Simmons.
Because they're not trying to be hurtful to Jabari Smith.
No.
They all know it's Austin Day.
No, Paulo Banchero. That's who they compared him to.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I was going to – okay. That's a dumb comparison as well. He's not Michael Beasley. What are we doing? He's nothing like Ben Simmons. He can already shoot better than Ben Simmons.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what is Jay Bayless on?
Well, if it's Jay Bayless, wow, I can't even say his name. Just wow. If it's Billis, I respect it. He knows something. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I don't.
I went back and he was hyping up Darko like 20 years ago. Oh, it's just like, man.
Dude, I tried to talk to Ben Wallace about that because like he was on. I got to interview him, and he was I think he hates talking about that because he was like, no, look, it's Carmelo. And then I told Ben, I'm like, look, you tell me if I'm wrong because this is the way I think. If it was the modern NBA, Carmelo Anthony should have been the number 2 because he could have played the 4. You could have still used Tayshaun Prince at the 3. And they could have been interchangeable that way if it was the modern NBA. But since it wasn't the modern NBA, I think they should have went with Dwayne Wade at number 2. Obviously, with hindsight, that makes the most sense. Because Dwayne Wade would have been a super 6 man for like 2 years. This is exactly what I said to Ben Wallace, by the way. I'm not just like telling you, I'm telling everybody what I said to Ben. I said, if you looked at Dwayne Wade, he could have been a super 6 man for 2 years. You could have played him, Rip, and Chauncey together in the backcourt. Still could have made a play for Rasheed Wallace, and the championship window could have been open longer. And you could have made the right decision trading Rip Hamilton versus trading Chauncey Billups at that time. So, and he was like, yeah, with Dwayne Wade, it makes a lot of sense, but he's like, we don't win that championship without Darko. And I'm like, oh, you really don't want to talk about this.
No, I remember watching him on an interview a few years ago. Small podcast. I think it was called The Two Bright Guys. And they basically asked him, and he was like, he didn't think Carmelo would have fit in Detroit. He just was like, Larry Brown wouldn't have played him at all. He was just like, he gave Darko a chance, and he's like, Larry was the toughest coach I've ever played for. He was like, he's like, he even made Chauncey like reconsider. Like, he's like, Chauncey almost was going to retire because of Larry Brown.
What?
Yeah, like it was crazy. It's just like, dude, like that's crazy. Like, I guess Larry Brown is just like a really tough-minded coach, and I don't know, man. I'm thankful for the championship, but at the same time, it's just like, man, that's insane.
You know what rookie got the most minutes in the USA team with Larry Brown as the head coach out of LeBron, Dwayne Wade, and Carmelo Anthony?
Melo?
No, it was actually Dwayne Wade. He played the 7th most minutes on that team. He averaged like 17 a game for them. That's how I knew Dwayne Wade was the right pick. Like if Larry Brown is playing you, that's who you should have drafted.
So Chet's at OKC.
Called it. What's up?
Jabari. I swear, Jabari to Houston, man. I'm sick. I'm sick to my stomach.
Watch him slip. Watch them go Keegan Murray.
Houston? Who's their point guard right now?
I think they were going with Kevin Porter Jr., right?
They could go Jaden Ivey.
That doesn't make any. He's not like a playmaking point guard though.
Chet's outfit's clean. I approve. Yeah, he's looking fly. Not even gonna lie.
Dude, so how far does Jabari slip? I know you're saying 3, but is there any way he gets out of the top 5?
I think the Kings would sweep him up at 4 and not even trade the pick. If he's there at 4, bro, They probably got a boner. They're probably like, hell yeah, let's go.
But then just watch him be bad with the Kings because it's the Kings.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, so I want to see who they compared Chet to. It's probably Evan Mobley knowing them.
Dude, I hope they compared him to Kevin Garnett. I said that one time and nobody loved it. Like, nobody loved what I had to say about Chet Holmgren and Kevin Garnett. I think the intensity level is different between the two, but like Chet is still a really intense guy. And I think offensively, they're both like Kevin Garnett did not like to post up, right?
No.
Like he was more of a face up guy. That's kind of what Chet Holmgren is now, too. And they were both really skinny teenagers when they came into the NBA, but they always had like that chip on their shoulder and something to prove. I think Chet Holmgren's comp is Kevin Garnett. I'll go ahead and say that. I'm sure a lot of people disagree with me, but
Jabari Smith to Houston.
is that really what it is?
Yeah, Woj just tweeted it. Wow, that's crazy.
Dude, who out of the first three picks has the biggest bust potential?
Chet.
What?
Yeah, I think he might get bullied, honestly. If he does not gain weight, like, I don't want to compare him to Thon Maker, but they're very similar.
Wasn't Thon Maker's biggest problem was that like he was always in the gym and like was just burning off so much? Like, I thought I read that somewhere where like he would eat a ton of calories a day, but then he would just be in the gym all the time.
He would eat like 7,000 calories a day. And like he would put the weight on. And then when it got to basketball season, he's 190 pounds. And it's like, dude, like you can't even if Thon Maker was at 220 pounds, he'd probably be amazing. Probably wouldn't be as fast, but he's probably protecting the rim, could stretch out the floor a little bit. But like I said, Thon's not even in the league anymore, which is crazy.
Yeah, neither is Sekou. Not surprised, though. Called that a long time ago. No, I think Jabari has the biggest bust potential out of all of them. I think Paolo is going to be solid for many years. I don't know if he ever reaches like the Chris Webber level of play that some people have compared him to. But I think Jabari, like, this dude is just Thon Misser. I love that. That's awesome. No, but I think Jabari really just has that bust potential. Like, I mean, if he doesn't get it going defensively, he's a jump shooter. That's all he is. Like, you're drafting a jump shooter number 3, like a guy that he doesn't create for himself.
Yeah. I think he can, though. I think he can develop that, but it's just like I could understand why he goes to top 3 because so many teams, you see it every year. I mean, Patrick Williams went all the way up to 4 because, he could defend a little bit. Just teams just overvalue kind of like that, that defensive wing that could possibly turn into a Kawhi or a Paul George, Do
you what is your draft philosophy? Are you more of a guy that wants to see the Pistons draft for potential or them to be productive early on?
Potential, but best player available on the board.
You're always a best player available on the board?
Yeah, like if Keegan Murray is on the board and Jaden Ivey's gone, like, go for it. He'd probably be the best player available. Like, I think the Pistons' biggest problem is they try to be the smartest guys in the room. You know what I mean? Like, everyone knew. I'm going back to the Killian thing again. No, I'm not. I love Killian, but it's like, dude, like if you wanted a point guard that was going to contribute, you could have drafted Cole Anthony. You could have drafted Halliburton. Shit, you could even drafted R.J. Hampton.
Tyrese Maxey too, but right?
Yeah, Tyrese Maxey was a 16th pick. Or no, not a 16th pick. Or you could have got him at 16. But it's just like sometimes the Pistons just get in their own way.
But do you think though, like the Killian Hayes? I always think like maybe I'm giving too much credit to Troy Weaver. I thought the Killian Hayes pick was, we're looking at long-term upside. This guy can be really solid in a couple of years. But also, I think, and the reason I say that I think Troy Weaver's playing chess, he drafted Killian Hayes because he was looking at next year's draft already, where he's like, if I draft a Cole Anthony or a Tyrese Maxey or a Tyrese Halliburton, we're not in play next year for a Cade Cunningham or an Evan Mobley or a Scotty Barnes or a Jalen Green. We're not going to be in play for them. But if I draft Killian Hayes, who I know isn't ready right away, he puts us in play for one of those guys next season.
I mean, he could have had that philosophy saying like, I know he's a project, and maybe I want to draft the project and see where it goes, because I think a lot of front offices do that. That they'll take a gamble on a project guy, because if it hits, then you're like, we got a player here. But if you miss, you're like, crap. Like, what are we gonna do with this guy? I still think he has a lot of value though in the league. I love his passing. I think defensively, he can guard basically 1 through 5, which is insane if you think about it. Like a 6'5" point guard, can hold his own against like guys like Joel Embiid, which is absolutely just mind-boggling. Like it's crazy. But like I said, philosophy for Troy Weaver. I mean, like he could have had that mindset, but it's like at the same time, like, do you really believe that was the play? And I don't know. I don't. I just think he thought that Killian was going to be better than he actually was.
I still love Killian too, and he did
Me
put
too.
Evan Mobley, like he did lock him up when they played.
Oh yeah.
That was a lot of fun to watch. Like, yeah, I don't know. I guess like with Killian Hayes, it's a little disappointing. He was drafted at 7th, but he does bring a lot of intangibles and stuff that help a team contend down the line. Right? Like, I mean, that's kind of my thinking. Like,
Yeah.
you don't draft a guy with intangibles like that at number 7, but if you're looking at the long term, like I'm pretty sure if Boston could go back, they would look at Marcus Smart and be like, is he really the best player available?
Let's
at this spot?
go. Keegan Murray up the king. That's what I'm talking about. Cannot get out of your own way. Let's go.
Oh, they're comparing him to Sharif Abdul-Rahim?
Yeah.
Dude, that's actually pretty nice. I like that. That's actually a nice comp.
Yeah.
I forgot about him, man.
So the Pistons are for sure getting Jaden Ivey.
Or Benedict Mathurin, bro. I'm hoping it's Jaden Ivey. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Dude, I am so excited for this. Like, you have no idea right now. This is actually really cool. Oh, they were comparing Jabari Smith to Sharif Abdul-Rahim. Wow.
Yeah, Kings have no trade plans they plan to keep Murray per source. Man, I feel like calling my my buddy that's a Kings insider right now, like straight up, because like he's been saying like, oh, we're gonna trade the pick, you're gonna trade up with us and give us Jeremy Grant. I was like, bro, ain't doing shit.
Wow. What team do you think made the best pick so far between the 4?
Houston. I think getting Jabari. I'm a big Jabari guy because I see the potential. I see the upside. Now, from your standpoint, I can understand, because you're like, dude, he just shot. He didn't dribble at all.
He really didn't.
I kind of look at the team he had too, and it's just like, hey, dude, there's like 5 seconds on the shot clock. Shoot it.
Wow, he played with Walker Kessler, who's going to be drafted inside the top 20. He had more help than Johnny Davis.
I'm not a big Walker Kessler guy.
Oh, man, I'm a huge Walker Kessler fan. Like, I love Walker Kessler. But anyways, I think Oklahoma City had the best pick so far.
Yeah.
I love Chet Holmgren.
I kind of think Chet and Poku are literally a Spider-Man meme, just pointing at each other. They're literally the same player.
I forgot who said it, that like if they were a sandwich, you'd still be hungry after you ate it.
For sure, man.
Dude, it's just, what was I? No, but I had a friend. He was a center. On my high school team, he was 6'9", and he had been recruited by a couple Division I schools in the state of Michigan to play. Because I mean, he's a super talented guy. Like, I mean, even though he was our center in high school, he could dribble the ball, shoot the 3, run the fast break, make good, clean passes. Just wasn't the athlete to play in the perimeter in college. But he also had a hard time adding weight. He was like 205 or 210, I think, when we were in high school. And this coach, I won't say the name of the coach, was like, look, if you want to play for my team, I need you to add weight. So I'd be go to community college for 2 years and try to add some weight. His first year at a community college, he went from like 210 to 225. And that's at a community college program. Yeah. So I have no doubt that Chet is going to be able to add weight in the NBA.
I hope so. I hope he's not like Thon where he can't like gain weight at all. Because some people just can't gain weight, which is just crazy to me. Like if I eat a pizza, I gain 10 pounds, like straight up. Even with working out, it's just like, dude, like what the hell?
Dude, I am.
We got Jaden Ivey, bro. Jaden Ivey at 5.
Oh my gosh. Yes, dude, I'm so happy. This is so great. Oh my God, dude. Backcourt for the next 10 years, Cade and Jaden. Holy crap. How are things working out for the Pistons so well these past 3 years? Dude, it's just unbelievable. They have, okay, I shouldn't even say they hit the head on Jaden Ivey, but I'm just going to say they have. Jaden Ivey, Cade Cunningham, Isaiah Livers, Sadiq Bey, Isaiah Stewart, Killian Hayes. That's 6 rookies, 6 guys that they have drafted that have made somewhat of an impact on the Detroit Pistons. It's incredible. It's incredible. It really is. Oh my God, dude.
I know, like I'm screwed with some of my coworkers. I've been spoiling all the announcements, and my friend was just like, "Swear to God, I'm gonna block your ass in about 2 seconds." He's getting so mad. He's like, "Bro, it's not cool. I'm trying to watch this in peace."
Dude, I mean, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do, right?
Bro, that I'm still hype. And we got the 36th pick, which is basically like another like late first round pick from that trade.
Oh, oops. I accidentally tweeted out the pick before it. Oh, okay. Sorry, guys. Either way, Jaden Ivey, dude, I'm so excited for him at number 5, dude. God, I can't wait, dude. I really can't. Dude, wait a minute. Is he being serious? Sharp to Detroit? Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that.
Who said that?
Dominique at the bottom, man. Dominic, my bad.
What did we do? Trade for him?
I didn't get an alert. Dude, I don't want to be. I'm taking my headphones off if it's Shaden Sharp, dude.
Yeah, Woj hasn't tweeted unless you said something. I mean, if we get Ivy and Sharp, I'm not going to be tripping. That'd be crazy.
Dude, watch it just be like, they just like, just kidding, Jeremy Sokin. I would lose it. I would lose it. Oh my gosh. What do you guys think about Kendrick Perkins' suit?
Let me see. Oh, they're still doing Keegan Murray.
Who has a nicer beard, me or Kendrick Perkins?
Nicer beard? Oh, probably you.
Thank you. Thank you. Look at this majestic thing. Oh, man, I was going to say, dude, you were just messing with me. Okay, I get it. I get it. You're funny, bro.
Dominique's a funny guy, man.
Dude, my heart skipped a beat when I read, like, no, dude, Sharp confirmed. I'm like, dude, who is he getting his information from?
I know, dude. I had a heart attack. I've never freaking opened Twitter so fast in my life. I was like, bro, I hope he's trolling. Please be trolling.
I'm just thankful that he was trolling. Holy crap, dude. That freaked me out, man. Dude, oh my God, dude. I cannot believe Jaden Ivey to Detroit, dude. I freaking love that. I freaking love that pick, dude. Oh my God.
Dude, it's such a home run pick because like he has the potential to be the best player out of this draft, I think. Like,
for sure.
Like if he hits, like you got a future backcourt for like the next 10 years. Like Cade, dude, LCA is gonna go. Apparently, LCA is going crazy at the draft party. Shout out to my guy Corey Woods. He's down there right now, like getting stuff for Woodward. He was just like, dude, LCA is going absolutely crazy right now. Like, great. I'm so happy, man. Like, you have no idea.
No, I mean, oh my gosh, dude. This was like, okay, this is number 2 in the past 3 years for me. But like, last year when the pick was announced at number 1, my daughter was like, did the Pistons win? I'm like, you have no idea. Like, I had tears in my eyes when they got the number 1 overall pick. It was just such a great feeling to see that number when Ben Wallace was holding up the number 1. It's just incredible, man. But, dude, to get Jaden Ivey at number 5 when I feel like he probably could have gone a little bit higher. Dude, that is awesome. It's such an incredible feeling, dude. It just played out so perfectly for Detroit to get Jaden Ivey, man. Oh my gosh, dude. Holy crap. Holy crap. That makes everything we've watched the past 10 years worth it.
Yeah, honestly, like now you gotta. I'm just so happy we addressed it because like that was a big concern of mine is like the backcourt. Like our backcourt has been like, hate to say it, it's been shit for like the past like 5 years. Like guys like I think like Jody Meeks, like when we signed Jody Meeks for like absolutely nothing and he played like one good game.
I miss Jody Meeks. Love that guy.
KCP, even though like a lot of people liked KCP, they're like, oh, he's gonna develop, and he never developed.
This just gives, like I said it earlier when we were doing this, like Frank Jackson was the second best shot creator on this team. Now we got Jaden Ivey. Like he's going to be able to play off of Cade so well. It's going to be an incredible season just to watch these two figure it out. He automatically, I don't care if they don't get Ayton. I don't care if they don't get Mitchell Robinson. This was it for me. This was my offseason. Seeing Ivey in number for the Detroit Pistons.
So it looks like the Pacers are going with Benedict Mathurin at 6, which that's a good pick.
It is. I love Benedict Mathurin.
That's actually, I don't know if I buy the hype with like trading Turner and Brogdon, but you still have Halliburton there. I mean, that's a tall backcourt if you think about it because Halliburton's 6'5", Mathurin is 6'7". Like Pacers might be a pain in the ass.
And I mean, they still got, I don't know if you had said Malcolm Brogdon's name with the rumors, but as of right now, like that's a 3-headed monster on the perimeter.
Oh, for sure, man. Like it's just.
Wow. I cannot get over Jaden Ivey, dude. He looks good in that hat, man. Bro,
like I think he's happy too because he's got so much family here in Detroit. Like he said, his grandparents still live here. You know, his dad played for the Lions. Or not his dad, his grandpa played for the Lions. His dad went to Detroit Country Day as a dual athlete. So, I mean, like, he's got a lot of Detroit roots, and I'm happy for him, man, because I know he's going to love it here, and the fans are going to appreciate the hell out of him because he's such a good basketball player.
Oh, we appreciated him just being a fan of the team when they were terrible. Like, I mean, that is just.
Yeah, in the locker room in 2016, he was probably with us in the crowd thinking that we had a chance against Cleveland.
Oh my god! I know. Oh my god! I definitely thought they had a chance. I just can't stop watching the highlights, dude. This is incredible. I don't understand. Like, I'm saying it now, but I do not understand how a guy like Jaden Ivey makes it out of the top 3. Because if he had been in almost any other draft class, he's going higher than 5, right? Like with that kind of talent and athletic ability.
Yeah, I mean, if you didn't have like the big guys up top. Like if you didn't have like the Jabari Smith, the Paulos, he'd probably go top 3 in any other draft. Just got a text from my buddy, man. He's been the biggest Ivy fan. He's like, let's fucking go. He's so happy.
Dude, it's just, oh my God, man. I can't stop saying that. Like the basketball gods have blessed us these past 3 years, dude, in the draft. Like it's incredible, man. Like it really is, dude. 2 top 5 picks in the last 2 years. And they fit on both Cade and Jaden Ivey, man. I cannot wait and this is the first year the Pistons drafted 5th overall. And they probably got the best player in the draft. God, dude, this is incredible. This is incredible.
It really is, man. It's real. I'm happy for him, honestly. Now you have such a luxury of having Killian Hayes off the bench. Like, now you have someone that can run your second unit, which is just crazy.
Also being able to play him with Jaden Ivey and Cade Cunningham, like it's a luxury to have. You got 3 good young guards that, all play a unique role, that are all going to play a unique role on this team for a couple of years. Damn, dude. Damn. Like, even if the Pistons don't do anything else in the first round, I'm okay with it. I said my dream scenario was them getting back into like 13, 14, 15 territory. That's the dream scenario. But if they end this draft with Jaden Ivey being drafted at 5th in the first, that's awesome. That's awesome, man. I'm so excited. I can't wait till the season gets here, man. Holy crap, this is going to be fun to watch. It's going to be fun to watch, man. Where do you think Shadon Sharp goes now? Don't tell me it's been reported he's already been drafted.
I think he slips.
I do too.
I think OKC, they might not have to trade up to get him. I think he might be there at 12.
Wow.
Because I know there was reports that they wanted to pair him with Chet.
That makes sense. I like that.
Straight up, Dominic. I 100% agree with that.
We missed top 3. Got Ivy as a consolation prize, major W. Dude, yeah, you're absolutely right. Wow, man. I feel so happy for all these guys getting their names called, man, and just changing their lives forever. It's incredible.
It really is. I will be right back, dude. I've been holding the pee in for like an hour. I was going to go to the bathroom real quick. I wanted to see who we drafted, but I'll be like back in like 2 seconds.
Dude, you're a trooper, man. Good for you. Holding that in.
I had to.
So let me hear from the guys that are still in this. I can only see so many people that are commenting. What are you guys' thoughts on Jaden Ivey, 5th overall? You guys excited? You guys upset about the pick? Is there someone else you want? What do you see the Pistons doing for the remainder of this draft? You guys see a trade coming? I wouldn't mind them. I already said, Jaden Ivey was the dream pick. If the draft ended right now, I'd be perfectly okay with it. It's fine. But, if the Pistons can somehow get another pick and go big and get one of those athletic bigs like a Mark Williams or a Jalen Duren, dude, Troy Weaver's a god. He's a god. He sold his soul to the basketball gods to make all this happen. It's incredible.
Man,
gotta keep an empty bottle on you at all times.
Oh, hell no. I would have filled this boy up in 2 seconds, bro. Would have needed a 2-liter.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my God. Oh, they're comparing Benedict Mathurin to OG Anunoby. That's a guy I love, too. When he was getting drafted, I was hoping the Pistons would have had a chance at him.
You see the Blazers are trying to get him?
Dude, who isn't trying to get that guy? And who aren't the Blazers trying to get? They've been rumored to him and Lou Dort.
Yeah, they're trying to trade their 7th pick for him, and I was like, bro, I don't know. That's a lot.
Dude, I don't even know what else to say, man.
I'm just happy, man. Oh, he signed with CAA basketball. That sucks.
Is that the LeBron James one with wow, I'm blanking on his name.
LeBron's agent.
Yeah.
No, it's not Rich Paul.
Okay.
That's not Clutch. No, this is. I want to say this agency is with. God, it's gonna bug me. I gotta click on their shit now. They just tagged me into stuff for Jaden Ivey, so I was just like, let's see.
So, Maverick Carter had played. He played college ball.
Yeah.
You know where he played college basketball at?
Nowhere.
Western Michigan University.
Wow.
My home city, Kalamazoo. Maverick Carter joins the long list of great athletes that have came from Western. Terry Crews played linebacker here. Tim Allen, he just went to school. Who's the guy? John Saunders. He played hockey at Western Michigan too. The guy that used to host the Sports Reporters.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's from Western Michigan. Played hockey here. Him and his brother Benny Saunders.
Man,
Are you more amazed at John Saunders going to Western or Terry Crews?
Probably
Oh,
Terry
what?
Crews because he's a little bit more famous. I feel like everyone loves Terry Crews.
It's just unbelievable. I was looking at the alumni and I'm like, what the hell? This dude, the Old Spice guy? When
The
he
Old
was.
Spice guy?
Well, wasn't he the Old Spice guy for like a little while, like back in the day? Or am
Yeah,
I maybe I'm thinking of someone else.
I think he was.
Oh, the Blazers. Looks like they're focused on Shadon Sharp at number 7. They have a thing for high schoolers, though. They drafted
Yeah.
Anfreen Simons a few years ago. He worked out. Maybe they got the Magic there in Portland.
I don't know. Chauncey's coaching him now, so maybe he likes him.
Chauncey, I don't. You think he's going to be a solid head coach?
I think he will, but I don't think it'll be with Portland.
Yeah, I kind of feel like he'll take a Jason Kidd trajectory where he's a head coach early on, but then he has to go back being an assistant for a little while, and then he gets another head coaching job.
Man, I don't have to tell you how many graphics I had to make because I wanted to get that shit posted on Instagram and Twitter like that. I probably made close to 200 graphics this week just with the NBA draft. It's just like, bro, I don't want to see Photoshop for like 2 days.
How many different players did you put in a Pistons uniform?
I just used MR Pro Designs, so shout out to him. I did not have time to do jersey swaps because those take like 2-3 hours.
I've never done one.
I don't recommend it. I do not recommend it at all. Jersey swaps are a bitch.
I just don't get that focus to change someone's clothes. That was a terrible joke. I'm sorry. Dude, you were hard to make laugh, my friend.
Oh, man. I'm still surprised at the Jaden Ivey. Knicks still want Jaden Ivey. New York is pursuing the guard, even though he was drafted by 5 by the Pistons.
What are the Knicks gonna? Dude, what if they traded? What if they gave the Pistons R.J. Barrett? That'd be so stupid. But is there anybody on the Knicks that you would take over Jaden Ivey? Doesn't feel like it.
Anyone I would take over Jaden on the Knicks? I mean, Julius Randle is I kind of know what he is. So, no. RJ Barrett, I think he had a really good breakout season. Probably not. No, nobody at all. Yeah, I agree with Dominique. Like, no, like they have nothing I want.
Yeah, I'm looking at their roster right now. No.
It's just a bunch of B+ players. Like I would just keep Jaden Ivey because I think he's going to be a star. I think him and Cade are just going to light up the league.
Dude, it's like a James Harden, Russell Westbrook, and Oklahoma City backcourt going on here in Detroit.
Oh man, I made this all the way in April, and everyone's retweeting this shit.
What was it?
Oh, because I was really in on Ivy back in April, and I was like, fun fact, Jaden Ivey's mom played for the Detroit Shock, and his grandfather played for the Lions.
Oh my god!
I know, it's just like, man.
You know that Nico Mannion player?
Yeah.
You know his dad played for the Detroit Pistons?
I did not know.
Yeah, played from like the late 80s or mid 80s, I believe. But yeah, Nico's dad. I think his name is Pete. It's probably not Pete, but I thought it started with a P. Nico Mannion. Didn't make it. Not surprised.
Yeah, he got really sick, actually.
Oh, what? What?
Yeah, he got like a heart condition. I don't know what happened with him.
He's over in Italy right now, I thought.
Yeah, I guess he had to retire because he had like a heart condition and he had to stop playing basketball.
Dude, I just made fun of him and now you spill that on me? Wow. Jeez.
Dyson Daniels to New Orleans. Wow.
Oh, they're really missing Lonzo Ball. That's what that's about.
I guess. He'll be good in New Orleans, though. I know Dominique asked earlier if Pelicans are going to trade Zion. Probably not. I don't see them trading Zion.
You remember how many Pistons fans were like up in arms about Zion Williamson? Like, look, if you have a chance to a guy like Zion Williamson, injury issues along with him, you kind of take a chance on a guy like Zion Williamson, don't you? Like, you have to. You have to. And, like, I just remember how many Pistons fans were like, no, never.
I mean, you got to make the call at least because you don't know what you don't know what the asking price is. I mean, it could be really low. They could be fed up, but, like, I doubt it. I mean, they have a pretty good core with McCollum and Ingram and Zion. And, you know, you add Dyson Daniel to the mix, who's going to be a good role player off the bench. Pelicans are a fun team, though. That would definitely be a league pass team for me. Like, if I were gonna, you know, watch the Pelicans.
Who's the one NBA team that you will not watch? I know you hate the Houston Rockets, but that's too easy if you say them.
I mean, I'd watch the Rockets. It's not that, like, because I love their core. One team I hate watching.
Or just a team that you're like, I'm never interested in what they're doing. I just don't care. It's kind of like Sacramento for me, I think. So.
It'd probably be Boston for me. It's not because of the players. It's because I cannot stand Brian Scalabrine. His analyst, like, when he's just talking, he just talks out of the side of his ass half the time. Like, because I'll be on, I don't want to, like, name the streaming site that, like, I watch games on, but half the time it's the away feed, and we're playing Boston. And some of the stuff that comes out of his mouth, it's just like, bro, what?
I know what you're talking about. And yeah, I kind of like Brian Scalabrine a little bit. My girlfriend hates when the Boston Celtics are on TV because she hates the floor. She hates the parquet floor. She said it's too distracting.
It's old school for sure. Dominique, I don't know too much about Shohan out of Baylor. So I'm not going to, like, act like I know what I'm talking about, but if you think he reminds you of Rui, I'll take your word for it.
No, that dude reminds me of Corey Brewer. Come on, Dominic. What are you doing? Rui? No. Corey Brewer, bro. That's who he reminds me of. Corey Brewer had a 50-point game. Let's not forget that. Corey Brewer was the man in college, but that's who Jeremy Sokin reminds me of. Do you buy into the whole thing like you can't root for Boston because you're a Pistons fan?
No, because I wasn't really alive during that time.
Yeah, neither was I. Like, I was born in 1990.
It's like the only rivalry, like, obviously be like the Lakers for sure. I don't know. I feel like
Indiana, maybe.
Yeah, like them too. But I feel like with Isaiah Stewart scuffling with LeBron, like, there's actually, like, real hate there. There's, like, real rivalry there now. I think after that fight this year, like, a lot of Pistons fans are like, yeah, screw the Lakers. Like, straight up, like.
No, I never really got the whole Boston thing from, like, now, like, fans today because, like you were saying, I wasn't around for it. I don't know why. Like, I felt like people were going to renounce me as a Pistons fan and as a content creator because I was rooting for the Boston Celtics. Like, even though I was rooting for the Warriors, but, like, dude, I kind of like the way the Boston built their team. I like it. Like, I can root for them. I like to watch them. But I don't know. I just didn't get the hate from Pistons fans for them. Unless you were actually alive and watched that rivalry at the time, then I fully understand it.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, my God, man. So this group chat at work is freaking hilarious. They're, like, arguing that the reason why they drafted Keegan Murray is because they went out to dinner. Prior, I was just like, dude, they took Luka out to dinner and they didn't draft him.
God, they drafted Keegan Murray because he fits to what they're doing. Like, he's the most pro-ready, I believe. I mean, I don't even like that term. Like, all these dudes are ready for the NBA, you know?
Yeah.
Did you – go on, my bad. Go on.
No, you can go ahead.
I was going to say, did you ever have doubt in Cade Cunningham last year in his rookie year?
Doubt? No.
You never had any ounce of doubt, like never once?
No, because I saw what he did at Oklahoma State. I knew he had that dog in him. I like a lot of Pistons fans, like, because he had the shooting slump. They're like, dude, this guy's trash. I'm like, dude, I'll just give him time. He's coming off an ankle injury. It's really hard to shoot when you have an ankle injury. I always thought he was going to be that guy, but, like, that stint he had in March, I didn't expect that. Averaging like 25, like 6 and 8, like that's crazy for a rookie.
I actually called that after the All-Star break when I was doing another podcast. And it was we were sitting there talking about it, and they were like, yeah, what do you think his numbers will be after the All-Star break? I'm like, dude, 25. He'll be 25, 5 and 5, but he'll probably average like anywhere from like 6 to 9 rebounds with like 5 to 7 assists. They're like, no way. There's no way he averages 25. I'm like, I'm telling you, dude, he's going to go off in the second half of the year. And he did. That's like that's part of a long list of things I was right about that I predicted.
Yeah, I mean, like, I knew Cade was going to be that guy. Like, I think I was having a conversation with some people in the Pistons group. And like, would Cade go number 1 in this year's draft? I'm like, yeah, no question. Like,
oh yeah, of course.
The talent in the top, 5 aren't better than Cade Cunningham right now. They're just not.
I mean, I think Paolo Banchero, Chet, and Jabari they're going probably 5, 6, and 7 in last year's draft.
Yeah, honestly, like that's crazy.
Well, I want to get back to that Cade Cunningham thing. So I had like a little bit of doubt. I was at his season debut against the Orlando Magic. And because I really wanted to see all the top 5 picks. Like I wanted to see Suggs, I wanted to see Barnes, Mobley, and Green all play against Cade Cunningham. But there was this little moment of doubt that I had, and it was in the first half. It was just this moment where the NBA game looked too fast for Cade Cunningham, just for a brief moment. I think it was like first quarter definitely, and I think it was a little into the second quarter. He almost looked a little overwhelmed. But then I want to say it was in the second half, somewhere in the third quarter, it was just like a light bulb clicked on, like immediately, where you're like, all right, like I'm seeing this dude in real time figure it out and make adjustments. And just, it was that moment, that look on his face where he's like, all right, I'm in the NBA. I'm not like, dude, I'm not scared. I'm not overwhelmed. I can compete with these guys. There was that moment. And then all the doubt that I had about him being the franchise player went out the window. But there was a brief moment in his debut where I was like, I don't think this is the guy, you know? But it was real brief.
I was at that game actually in person too. And that was probably the most, I don't know, for an NBA game, the talent looked like YMCA guys playing out there. Like it was so bad. Like I think Kelly Olynyk was our leading scorer that night. It was just, like I said, I expected Russ with the ankle injury. Like I'm not gonna like look at him and say, that's who he is. I know a lot of people are looking at his shooting splits over the first 20 games, and they weren't great. Like he shot really bad from 3, but he picked it up after that. Ankle was feeling better, and I think like after the All-Star break, he really put it together. He started to figure out where to go, get to his spots, get his teammates involved, and you saw what a lob threat. Like give him a lob threat, holy crap! Like it's crazy. And Marvin Bagley is not even like a premier rim runner. Like you give him like a premier rim runner, like man, watch out.
You think there's any chance the Pistons sign Mitchell Robinson? I know we were talking about Aiden,
Yeah.
but if they bring on, like, let's say they do make the trade for Gordon Hayward, he'll eat up like what, around like $27 million of the cap?
Yeah, I believe so.
I saw someone say 17 million, then someone corrected them and say it would be 27.
Spurs are taking your guy.
Who are they taking?
Jeremy Schuhan.
Oh, see, that's a Spurs pick though. He's going to be great in San Antonio. Watch, it's going to be Leonard. That's what's going to happen. That's the thing about the Spurs that freak me out. Like, whoever they draft, I'm like, oh, dude, that should have been the number 1 pick. That guy should have been number 1. If the Spurs draft him, they should have been number 1. Watch him take over the league. And that's what I feel like is going to happen right now.
I mean, they got DeJounte Murray like bottom of the first round.
Yeah, like 30th overall, I believe.
Yeah, I remember me and my boy, like when he was coming out, like we're like, oh, should the Pistons draft him? I was like, he's a project, but like, yeah, I would draft him.
He was my favorite player coming out of that draft, no joke, because he came out of Washington, right?
Not 100% sure. As I feel like his draft was so long ago, and I know it wasn't.
You know, who was he drafted with? Dude, now you got me looking at 2016. Okay. Yup, he was from the University of Washington.
All right.
Yup, 2016 draft, man. Who else was in that draft class?
I have no idea. I could pull it up.
Nope, I'm pulling it up right now. I will cash app you $5 if you can name the number one, Venmo you money, the number one pick in this year's, in the 2016 draft class.
Number one?
The number one pick.
I believe that wasn't the Tatum draft. No, it wasn't the Tatum draft.
I'm not giving you any more hints.
Ben Simmons?
Ah, damn it. Yeah. It's okay. I was gonna say if someone tweeted it at you or messaged you.
No,
yeah,
my phone's dark. Nothing.
Yeah, I owe you $5 now. I will send you $5 too for getting that.
No, you don't have to. It's all good. Oh, it was the Jaylen Brown draft. Yeah.
Yep. Jaylen Brown, Brandon Ingram went number 2. Dante Murray went number 30, I believe. God, what a draft class, man.
Thon Maker went 10.
Oh, he went 29. My bad. Thon Maker went 10?
Yeah, and Sabonis went 11.
Wow, and Jakob Poeltl, he went number 9. Wow.
That's crazy. Looks like the Wizards are going for Johnny Davis out of Wisconsin. That's a good pick for them if they want to replace Beal.
Why waste a draft pick on replacing somebody when you already have them?
I think they know the rebuild's coming and they're just looking for a replacement.
Dude, I don't think ever since Alondo Tucker was drafted out of Wisconsin and just completely flamed out for the Phoenix Suns, I've never believed in a Wisconsin player ever again.
What about Kaminsky?
Never believed in him. Sam Decker, never believed in him.
That's who I was thinking of, not Kaminsky. He wasn't out of Wisconsin. It was Sam Decker.
No, Frank Kaminsky was out of Wisconsin as well.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, it was him, Nigel Hayes, and Sam Decker in that front court.
Every time I think of Sam Decker, I think of that highlight of him going for the basketball and him hitting him in the face. Like he went to go get the basketball and it like hit him straight up in the face.
I think it was him where he was on a fast break, but like fumbled the ball and just looked like it almost looked like they were filming it for like a slapstick comedy. It was just so bad.
I mean, if they want to blow it up, like they have the assets to do it, but like I don't understand what Washington's trying to do.
I don't know either.
It's like you're not a play-in team. Beal gets hurt. Beal cannot stay healthy for a full season. If he does, he's exhausted by the playoffs. It's just I don't get it. Like
if I was Dallas, I would make a real push for Bradley Beal. Look, so this is the thing I think about Luka Doncic. It's nice that he has the ball in his hands all the time. And I want to make this like very clear to Pistons fans as well. Because I know someone at Woodward is not an Ivy fan because they're afraid that they'll take the ball out of Cade Cunningham's hand. Let me just say though, dude, you need other guys that can create, other guys that can go out and get a bucket. And Bradley Beal, I never really loved him as a number one option. But, dude, you put him alongside Luka Doncic in Dallas where he can play more off the ball and, you know, kind of create in spurts when they, like, Luka needs a break or it's going to be, like, a decoy. It makes so much more sense. Like, there's nothing wrong with being a second option and getting paid millions of dollars to do it.
Oh, there really isn't. Like, I think Dallas would be a good fit. I think one team, I don't know if they would do it, but I think Portland would be a good fit too. But they don't have any fucking cap space now because of Jeremy Grant.
Well, I think it works better. Like Bradley Beal works in Portland because Luka Doncic he's the type of guy that's gonna put you in better situations when he gives you the ball. Like he's just not gonna throw it to you and like put you in no man's land. Like I think there's a difference between like a Damian Lillard and a Russell Westbrook getting you assist numbers. Like they're going to rack up assists because they have the ball in their hands so much. They're not necessarily players that put you in a better position to score the ball. Like that's a Chris Paul or Rajon Rondo. That's their jobs. That's a Luka Doncic's job. That's a LaMelo Ball's job. So, yeah, even though like I get what you're saying about Damian Lillard and Bradley Beal being a backcourt, I just don't love it as much as I like a Luka Doncic or Bradley Beal going to Charlotte and playing in the backcourt with a LaMelo Ball. Just because those guys are going to put you in better situations than a Damian Lillard or a Russell Westbrook. Or even a Kyrie. He's one of those guys too. He just has great assist numbers because he always has the ball. He's not necessarily putting you in a better situation. I don't know if that makes sense.
You know what the funniest part about Instagram is, and it makes me laugh, is every time I look during the draft, there's like a little 14-year-old kid that makes a fan page. I get a message. He's like, "Yo, new fan page. Can you give me a follow?" It's called Jaden Ivey Zone.
You probably just did more for him saying that on here than you ever would have done by sharing him in your story.
I don't even know if that's his real ad. Let's see what his real ad is. Let's see. Ivy post.
Yeah, you're making his dreams come true, man.
I'm not gonna follow him, but like, it's kind of like with the Cade thing. Like, there's so many Cade fan pages where it's to the point. It's just like, I know you're not a Pistons fan.
How do you think about guys that just like support the player and not the team?
I mean, I think we all have our favorite players, but like LeBron fans, right?
Yeah.
I bet you half the fan base, they're just LeBron fans. They don't care about the Lakers.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, how do you feel about those guys?
Like, I understand it's your favorite player, but at like the same time, like, don't be like, coming to, like Pistons fans that have like actually suffered through like really crappy teams saying, "Oh man, I've been a Pistons fan my whole life." You know what I mean? It's just like, dude, no, you haven't. Like, you were probably a LaMelo Ball fan last year.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, I kind of look at it as Cade's best friend. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's always talking about the Pistons and everything. And, like, we all know he wouldn't be a Pistons fan if Cade wasn't on the team.
Oh, man, that is perfect.
You know what I'm talking about, though? Like, he is truly just like, I am the biggest supporter of whatever team this guy's on.
They got to get those TV commercials, Dominique. That's why. I mean, the draft should be over in like, an hour? And then we're only at pick 10. Like, ESPN has definitely got to get those commercials out there. Got to get that revenue up.
How else are they going to pay for Stephen A. Smith?
Did you see that picture of Spike Lee and Jaden Ivey?
I did not see that.
Spike Lee literally looks like he's just like, I want you to be a Knick so bad.
Who doesn't Spike Lee want to be a Knick, though? Wasn't there a couple of years ago where wasn't it like him and LeBron James? Like, he was talking about LeBron James coming to New York. And like they put LeBron James in a Knicks jersey and they put him on the cover of something. And like Spike Lee was all about it, and there was never no chance of him going to New York. I think it was with LeBron.
I think they did that with KD and Kyrie, because they're like, "Oh, we're going to New York," and then like, well, we didn't say we were going to the Knicks.
Yep,
we're going to Brooklyn. Like, because I remember seeing like the photoshops of like Zion in a Knicks jersey, and then like they fall in the draft and get RJ Barrett. It's just like, I don't know. I kind of laugh at Knicks fans sometimes. Like, they get such bad luck in the lottery. Like,
well, they no, go on. Finish your thought real quick.
If they have the worst record and then the Pelicans jumped them, they get the first pick.
Well, it's because what happened when I'm blanking on David Stern was commissioner. He screwed over the Pacers for the Knicks. Gave him Patrick Ewing instead of Wayman Tisdale. That's what the Knicks deserve. They got a little bit of luck at one point, and now that luck has cursed them forever.
Yeah, it really has, man. This I'm hoping Troy trades up, but I don't know.
I don't know. I kind of think they're done, right? Like, I mean, Gordon Hayward seems like the most logical trade to try to get back in, but I don't even know if I see it happening anymore. This is such I don't know, but I mean, like, I'm on cloud 9 right now. Like, I don't even care what happens for the rest of the draft because we got Jaden Ivey, man.
So a guy I work with, I won't say who, he said, no good players come out of Purdue.
What? I mean, is he
Yeah.
forgetting about Glenn Robinson? 20 points a game? I don't know who else. Robbie Hummel? Are we going to forget about Robbie Hummel? Hubble?
Yeah, I just told him, I said, that's such a bad take. And one of the guys I work with, he's just like, yeah, I said, I guess no one out of Davidson's good at either. I said, I bet you were a big Louisville fan when Donovan Mitchell was coming out.
Wait a minute, are we forgetting about Etwan Moore out of Purdue? He's been playing for like 18 years.
Dominique, it is not easy. It is not easy. Shout out to Speakeasy. No, it's not easy. Easy. I know the guy you were talking about with like the Jaden Ivey, that was easy. But he didn't want Jaden Ivey at all. He wanted Keegan Murray at 5. Because he was talking about how like he didn't think Jaden Ivey would fit with Cade. Because he thinks Cade needs the ball in his hands to be successful.
Yeah, but I mean, Cade also needs a break. He has other parts of his game where he doesn't need the ball. Like he can play off ball. He could go post up smaller guards. Those are other parts of his game that he can do. He can be a decoy.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's so much more to basketball than just saying. I hate when you would play on teams where it was just like one guy that he thought he had to do everything. And you're just caught standing all the time. Like, dude, come on. I don't want to just stand the entire time. I want the ball in my hand. What have players out of Iowa done in the NBA, though? Am I misremembering some legends that came out of there?
Pistons legend Luka Garza.
Don't even say that. Don't even say that.
I couldn't tell you a good player that came out of Iowa.
Dude, I'm going to look it up, and we're just going to be surprised at the name.
So the Knicks are trading the 11th pick to OKC, and they're going to draft someone. I cannot pronounce that last name, or his first name, I should say. Someone Dang. I don't know.
Oh, Usman?
Yeah, Usman Dang.
I think his name is Usman.
Something like that, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to give you one name.
Okay.
And he might be the greatest. I didn't mean to close that. He might be the greatest player out of Iowa. Are you ready for this?
All right.
Ricky Davis.
I mean, he was okay.
Yeah, but I mean, just saying, like, there's no, like, I'm going off the whole Purdue thing. There's no great player that came out of Purdue. We had Glenn Robinson out of Purdue. He was amazing in the NBA.
So the Thunder are sending multiple first-round picks to the Knicks.
Oh, man, the Knicks already blown it up? Jeez.
Yeah, they're getting picks. They want Ivy, probably.
Yeah, Ricky Davis, dude. Yeah, nobody. Carson Edwards is the greatest Purdue basketball player. What am I talking about? Brian Cardinal, the custodian?
We can trade Balsa Cops for Visa and move up in the draft. I forgot about Balsa, man.
I really liked him too, though. I do like Balsa. Yeah, I thought Balsa would actually be pretty good in the second round. I thought he'd be better than Luka Garza. Right? Like, didn't you think that? No, I'm just kidding. I shouldn't have asked that. You're a Luka Garza fan.
I am not.
You are. You are a Luka Garza fan, though. I know you are.
No.
You got his jersey somewhere.
No, not at all.
I actually bought someone a Luka Garza jersey, but like the Pistons City Edition ones, those red ones that just came out.
Mm-hmm.
Greatest $170 I've ever spent on a friend.
I can't believe OKC wants this guy so bad. How many French players do they want? I mean, they have a whole team full of French players now.
I hate when they like bring out a player and they're like, he's a 6'11" guard. No, he's not. He's not like dribbling didn't look that good. It looked all right.
Yeah. I mean, they have like Theo Maledon, and they have such a weird roster. They have like Theo, Shea, Poku, Chat, Lou Dort. Like, I don't know, man. I want OKC to start actually competing. Stop the tanking, because it doesn't make any sense.
It's funny that they're just tanking for all of like these weak draft classes, and now they're just gambling on like an Ousmane Dieng, who probably No, I mean, he averaged 23 and 13. I always have a thing for like foreign players. If you can put up numbers in the leagues, you're probably going to be a pretty good player in the NBA. It's when they just decide to draft these guys. They're like, he averaged 1.4 points per game in 4 minutes a game. Dude's going to be, he's the next Dirk. Like Dirk was killing it over in Germany before he came over to the NBA. That's how I knew Kristaps Porzingis would be solid. He was putting up good numbers over there.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's crazy when you like think about it with like foreign players because like some of these foreign players, like I would say half of them don't even hit.
Well, because they're always taking projects. They're like, well, I mean, even look at when they drafted Darko, he averaged like 2 points a game. Why are you drafting a guy that averaged 2 points per game?
Because he had a good workout, apparently.
Yeah, but that's the mistake. Like, if they can't do it against competition, why are we drafting them? It even goes back to like Nicholas Stavisky when he was drafted by the Denver Nuggets. The dude averaged like 3 points per game in his league. Again, if he was averaging like 14 points a game, I'd be like, I see why you're drafting that high. Because he's young and he was putting up numbers in a really good, difficult league. And they always seem to be going for these projects that make no sense. Dragon Bender was another guy. I don't understand that.
Oh man, Phoenix dropped the ball so hard that draft.
They drafted him and Marquise Chris. By the way, I apologize if I talk over you.
It's okay. So apparently the Thunder still have the 12th pick. It isn't a part of the Knicks trade. That's great. That's great. What a fleece.
And Shaedon Sharp hasn't been drafted yet, has he?
No.
Or did he go to Portland?
I think he went to Portland, I'm pretty sure. Woj said it, but I never saw it. So.
Oh yeah, they did. They did draft him. I just didn't see it on my TV screen. Wow. Wonder who they draft now at number 12. Jalen Duran's still on the board too, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Same with AJ Griffin. He's a guy that really slipped too. I'm surprised.
Okay, see, who are they selecting? Never even heard of this guy. Jalen Williams out of Santa Clara.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? I know a lot of people were talking about him, but I thought he had like a second round grade.
Let me see where he's mocked at. Let's see. Oh, they had him at 14, actually, going to the Cavs. So, I mean, I guess that's good value.
Yeah, but I've seen him all over the place in some of these drafts. I have one pulled up right here.
Durant or Griffin. I would probably go Durant if I was the Pistons. Like if they had another pick. So I don't really think we need Griffin on this team, honestly.
Don't you think AJ Griffin is like the next Justice Winslow?
I hope not.
Like, I mean, I know he's a better shooter than Justice Winslow was, but I feel like there are some weird similarities between those two because they're both probably better at playing the 4 than they were on the perimeter. Because of like the other skills that make you a perimeter player just weren't ever there. I don't know. I could be wrong. No, I guess I was wrong about Jalen Williams too. He looks like he was projected to go top 16 anyway.
Yeah, top lottery. That's actually not a bad pick.
Let's see where Walker Kessler goes. I hope it's right now. That would just be amazing.
They got him going late first round.
Yeah, the one I'm on has him at number 19. You know the Spurs have 3 first-round picks?
Yeah, I saw that.
It'd be hilarious if none of them pan out. I would laugh so hard.
But the Spurs missed.
3 years with 3 picks, they missed out on all 3. Just be incredible.
That would be probably. I don't know. I'm kind of waiting for them to rebuild too. It's kind of like they got Murray. Did you see what DeJounte Murray tweeted like maybe 2 months ago? It was like a a jersey swap of Zach LaVine
Yep.
in a Spurs jersey. And I could see him going to the Spurs, even though he wants to stay with the Bulls.
I don't know why a lot of guys – I just don't ever see guys like Zach LaVine working, though, in San Antonio. Like, it's almost like their personality is much bigger than the city.
Yeah, I mean, they're looking to pay him $200 million. I was just like, man, like the Bulls are going to be so screwed because they have so many guys that are going to come up on contracts. They're going to have to blow it all up again.
How many teams do you really think every year are actual contenders for an NBA championship?
Like 4.
You usually think they're kind of like – you think you can pick them out pretty quickly?
Yeah. Yeah, usually. I mean, like this year, like I thought Phoenix was going to make some noise. I thought Denver was actually going to do something, but they had so many injuries where they just couldn't get out of their own way. Like if Jamal Murray was healthy, I think the Nuggets probably are a top 4 seed. I just think the Nuggets they're so close to winning a championship. They're like one piece away.
Yeah. I don't know if that's either Jamal Murray or Michael Porter Jr. or maybe even a Zach LaVine. I have no idea. Zach LaVine would be cool.
Ty Washington to Cleveland to replace Sexton. Yeah, I don't see Cleveland bringing back Sexton at all. Now that they have Darius Garland, I think that's their point guard of the future.
I like Colin Sexton's game. Do you like him in Detroit?
Now that we have Ivy, no.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking as soon as I said it. I'm like, now that we got Ivy, there's no way. But before Ivy, though, I was kind of rooting for them to come out and sign Colin Sexton. I'm not a big Jalen Brunson fan on the Pistons, just because I think when you're a undersized off guard, you got to be athletic. You got to be able to attack the rim and finish.
Oh, for sure. And people think that we're gonna freaking we're making that Charlotte trade.
I don't know. I mean, I'm very excited for Jaden Ivey, but dude, I mean, it'd be kind of cool, right? Like, I know I've been going back and forth on that. I'm cool with the draft just ending now with them staying pat with the 5th pick. But man, Jalen Duran, he's still there. I would not mind him in Detroit.
I kind of like Mark Williams a little bit more.
What do you think is the biggest difference between those two? Like, what gives him the edge in your mind?
Just that energy, man. Like he reminds me of like a Daniel Gafford a little bit.
I like that.
Like a Montrezl Harrell, Daniel, like just high motor, high energy guys. Like
I like that. He does kind of reminds me of like Clint Capella a little bit too. Just because they're both kind of like limited in what they can do offensively. But I like the Daniel Gafford. He's a player that's like really underrated in my opinion too.
I'd love him.
Gafford.
I'd love him in Detroit.
Jalen Duran kind of reminds me of like a more athletic Thomas Bryant.
I know. I was trolling Pistons fans really hard. I said, watch Atlanta trade for DeAndre Ayton. Bro, they got so pissed at me. I'm like, they have more assets. They could do it. They said, you think they're just going to let the Pistons try to match an offer? They'll probably do a sign and trade before that even happens. Who are you going to send? Kelly Olynyk in a 2025 first? Like, they're probably going to pass on that shit.
That works. Why not?
I mean, knowing Atlanta, they'll probably throw in John Collins and what's his face? I always call him the redhead version of Luke Kennard.
Oh, Kevin Huerter?
Yeah.
I don't mean to be coughing, my bad. Just getting over something. But remember when they drafted Trae Young and Kevin Huerter and thought they were going to have their own version of the Splash Brothers?
I did.
I was so scared for the Eastern Conference after that happened. But then I thought, dude, he's red-haired. There's no way. Every red-haired player in the NBA has never been great.
I'm trying to think of a a guy that was a redhead that was good, but I can't think of any off the top of my head.
Dennis Rodman, probably the best.
That wasn't real though. That was just
I mean,
That was wild.
we're talking about like Brian Scalabrine, Matt Bonner, and Kevin Herter. Who's the best out of those three?
Yeah, I hate Charlotte, bro. Every year they take players that I want. They're getting Jalen Duren.
Dude, they needed a guy like that though with LaMelo. It makes sense. Jordan's
No,
finally doing some right stuff.
it took book night. I wanted book night last year.
So did I.
Dude, they take so many players I want. I was just like, bro, they didn't even play book night either. It's like, what the hell are you doing?
Not till the end of the year. I was surprised by that.
I know. It's just like, yeah, I'm with you, Dominique. I wanted him. Like, I doubt we're gonna make that trade. I'm sure Woj would have dropped the bomb like a long time ago, but like,
What if we got Mason Plumlee back in it though too?
I'm a Mason Plumlee apologist. I wouldn't hate it. Like,
I loved Mason Plumlee in Detroit. I really did.
Like when we got Kelly Olynyk, I remember telling people, I said, we're gonna be worse.
That's what you said?
Yeah, Mason Plumlee, for all the crap that he got, people calling him bumbling and shit like that. He was a really good passer out of the dribble handoffs and a really good defender. So it's just like,
and he always looked to dunk it too. That like when he
let's go. We're getting Duren, bro.
What happened?
Pistons are acquiring Duren in a trade.
Dude, holy crap. No way. No way. No way, dude. Oh my gosh.
My jackass has got to make a graphic. Damn it. Oh man, dude, that's awesome. I'm so happy. I don't know about you, bro. Jalen Duren's a monster.
Dude, this was the dream scenario we were talking about, dude, at the beginning of this.
That's your dream scenario. I didn't see the vision.
Holy crap, dude. Can I be called the Pistons prophet? Can I please be called that? Like, can people finally wake up and know that I have just predicted so many things? I'm tooting my own horn. I've predicted a lot of things.
Talk your shit, bro. You called it. You called it at the beginning, like before the draft even started.
Dude, so not even that. I'm going back to, I remember on a podcast where I said that Sekou Doumbouya would not play 7 years in the NBA and he'd be traded at the beginning of the year. And it freaking happened, dude. I'm not trying to swear, but it happened. And it happened.
Yeah, I mean, I know some people are saying that Sekou is going to be the next Giannis. And it's just like, I'm trying to think who I compared him to, and like I think he's still the league. I can't think of his name. El Farouk Aminu. I was like, that's who I think Sekou's going to be. Like, he's not going to be anything special. Like, I really don't know why people had such high expectations for him.
Well, I hated when people were comparing him to Giannis and Pascal because the dude, he never had that motor.
No.
I just can't believe that was the thing that really pissed me off about fans. They're like, man, he's the next Pascal. He's the next Giannis. Dude, how can you watch Pascal Siakam and Giannis and honestly make that comparison? Look at how they play. They play with so much energy all the time, and they never – and, like, he doesn't. How can you make that comparison? Well, he's foreign, he's tall, and he has some guard skills. Okay. That's where it ends. He doesn't have the motor.
I think it was just like the body type, and like sometimes he would show glimpses of like kind of how Giannis did like those Euro steps and stuff. I think that's why people are like, yeah, he's gonna be the next, Giannis and stuff like that. It's just like, dude, I don't see it, but like I respect your opinion, but I have to disagree that he's not gonna be the next Giannis. He's not gonna like do anything significant in the league.
Did Giannis and Pascal come into the league with baby fat? No,
I don't think so.
Sekou did. That's how I knew. I'm like, all right, this ain't no home run pick. Dude's coming in with baby fat. That's the easiest stuff to work off.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I'm happy we got Duren. I kind of wonder what's going to happen to Isaiah Stewart.
Bro, this is what I was talking about at the beginning with the Boston Celtics. This is what I was saying. You got Cade, you got Ivy, wait, hang on, let me talk this back. You got Cade, the Jason Tatum type. You got the Al Horford type in Isaiah Stewart. You got the Marcus Smart type in Killian Hayes. You got the Grant Williams type in Isaiah Livers. Now you're getting a bonus pick in Jaden Ivey. And now you're getting your Robert Williams type and Jalen Duran. Like, this is perfect. This is amazing. They're building it like Boston, dude. He's going to be that Rob Williams. They're going to make it work. Holy crap, dude. I can't believe they just did this.
Son of a bitch. So now Sham says that the Hornets traded Jalen Duren to the Knicks. And then Woj says the Pistons acquired Jalen Duren with a 13th pick in a trade.
And Kemba Walker to Detroit.
Did we get both pick? Wait, what?
Shams Charnani said Knicks are trading Kemba Walker to Detroit.
No fucking way. Are you fucking with me right now?
No, I'm not. He just tweeted this out.
Bro, holy fuck.
What? We got Kemba Walker now, too?
Let's go, bro. We got Kemba Walker. Bro, I was the biggest Kemba fan.
Bro, him doing that step back in Madison Square Garden, I loved it. I loved it.
Holy shit.
Oh my gosh, dude. I am just, oh my God. Wait a minute. What if the pick is Jalen Duren goes to the Knicks and then Mitchell Robinson and Kemba Walker come to the Detroit Pistons? I still love it, but I mean.
Dude, Kemba Walker, like I wanted him to be a Piston, like I don't know how many years ago. Like when he was in Charlotte, like I was willing to like give the bag for Kemba Walker. But people are like, dude, you're crazy. No.
I like Kemba Walker. He's one of the easiest shots to use in 2K too.
Bro, he was so good in Charlotte too. Like
he really was.
I don't know what happened when he got to New York. I just don't. It's like maybe Tibbs just didn't like the way he played, so he didn't play him.
Yeah, I don't know what goes on with these guys. He's only 32 years old. I don't understand the drop off. He goes from 19 points a game in Boston to 12 in 37 games to the Knicks for the Knicks.
So the Pistons are sending the Hornets. So the 2025 pick via Milwaukee and the Duren trade, sources tell Detroit got that pick from Portland in the Jeremy Grant trade till yesterday. Okay. So are we getting Duren or not?
All I want to know.
Yeah, like Kemba Walker, like I'm happy for. That's actually a really good pick. That's a I'm thinking in the back of my head, like now you have a backup point guard if you're gonna trade Killian. Like if they're just like out on Killian, well, now you got a backup point guard.
Dude, he's another shot creator, man. Can I tweet out that I called it?
Go for it.
But I'm retweeting the Woj tweet. The Pistons are sending the Hornets the 2025 first-round pick via Milwaukee. In the Duren trade, source tell ESPN, Detroit got that pick from Portland. Yes, called it. I don't give a shit. Called it. Awesome. I'm allowed to toot my own horn. I'm allowed to toot it. I played trumpet in high school, middle school. I'm allowed to play that horn.
So we're still keeping Ivy good.
Oh my God, yeah, dude. Well,
I
don't
forgot
want
about
any of that. Oh,
yeah, like I need the full trade details. Like Knicks. Okay, so we're not getting Jalen Duren. So Knicks acquire Jalen Duren and move him with Kemba Walker to the Pistons. Okay, so no Duren at all, but we're getting Kemba Walker.
what?
Yeah, Sham says Knicks acquired Jalen Duren and moved him. Oh wait, Knicks acquired Jalen Duren and move him with Kemba Walker to the Pistons. Oh wait, so we got both Kemba Walker and Jalen Duren. Never mind, I read that wrong. My bad. So we're getting Jalen Duren and Kemba Walker. Dude, that's such a good trade.
Dude, wow. Wow. Holy crap.
Troy strikes again.
I cannot believe it, man. I cannot believe it.
What are the Knicks doing? That's what I want to know.
They're not doing anything. It's the Knicks. Spike Lee is taking over the franchise. He doesn't know what he's doing. Stick to movies.
What's the full trade? Because I know there's a lot.
This dude says I have a raging boner right now. That's amazing. Dude, I love your fans. These guys are awesome.
Yeah, like honestly, some of the have a raging boner. Dude, like some of the funniest fans are in the comments for sure. We could definitely wrap this up though. I know you said you do have to go pretty soon. So.
Yeah, oh wow. Sorry about that. No, yeah, I gotta run my nephew home in a little bit. That's the biggest thing. My bad. I love doing this though, man. It's a lot of fun talking with you about the Pistons.
For sure, man. Like I gotta digest getting Jaden Ivey, Kimball Walker, and Jalen Duren. Like that's a good draft, and you still have 36.
Dude, I just can't believe it, dude. I just can't believe it, man. When we were talking about it at the beginning of this podcast, it's nuts, man.
So freaking Woj just said a tremendous coup for Detroit GM Troy Weaver to land two of his top targets in the draft, Jaden Ivey and Jalen Duren, with the cost of only a future first-round pick. It only cost Troy a 2025 first-round pick to get.
Dude, and think about yesterday when we were all talking about Jeremy Grant being, this is all we got. There was a bigger picture to all of it, and this is what we get. We get Jaden Ivey and Jalen Duren, and we get Kemba Walker. It's amazing. For nothing. For trading Jeremy Grant for a 2025 first-round pick, and people want to question Troy Weaver. I question your fandom. Get out of Detroit and stop rooting for this team.
Right? Like that was a home run pick for him. To get – I know Kemba Walker isn't what he used to be, but he's still a valuable piece. And he's a trade asset if it doesn't work out. Like, you're set on your guards. Like, I don't know what's going to happen to Killian. Like, he might get traded.
No, I don't think he gets traded, right? There's no way.
I think Casey would play Kemba over.
I think you can play both of them together, though, right?
You should be able to.
I mean, you got a 6'5" guard that can play defense, and you just got to give Kemba Walker. Yeah, they're probably going to move Kemba or, like, buy him out, right?
I hope not. I want to see him in Detroit. I think a lot of fans would like him. I mean, you sign Andre Drummond in free agency, and then you got the UConn connection.
Man, only if we could have got Book Night in that.
Right.
God, that would be amazing.
Troy got there and the other GMs.
They're hidden sex tapes or something. Dude, that's amazing. I don't know if I want to watch any GM sex tapes, though. I'm not going to lie. That just does not seem fun for me.
No, I mean.
Like Joe Lacob just in it from the back. I don't want to see that.
I feel like half of the GMs are overweight, too. Man.
Dude, did Troy empty his clip?
2-point Troy strikes again. Yeah, for sure.
Man, we ain't going after A, and that was all smoke. I called that too. We're not going after DeAndre Ayton, man. I can't believe it, dude. This has been a perfect night.
For sure. Well, we've been on for 2.5 hours, man. We're on for a long time. Appreciate everyone stopping on by, but we're going to end this live stream. Got to let Lance go, but we're definitely going to be pushing out more content in the future, so stay tuned. Hope you guys have a great night, and go Pistons.